Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Naruto has Minato's personality part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. Ugh, Naruto groaned as he rolled over on his futon. The last 24 hours had been a blur to the blonde, dealing with Gatta's samurai wannabe thugs, racing to Tazuna's bridge to catch up with the rest of his team, leapt into an enemy's jutsu to save Sasuke, see Sasuke seemingly killed, using the Kyuubi's chakra to break free and finding out that his opponent was Haku, seeing Haku killed by Kakashi-sensei, then Gatta showing up with his thugs. Zabuza then sacrificing himself to decimate Gatta's thugs and kill Gatta himself, and finally Sakura calling out that Sasuke was alive. However, instead of getting a restful sleep, Naruto's rest was bombarded by images that he had no memory of. He saw dozens of unfamiliar ninja in a barren, rocky wasteland. Somehow he knew that the Hitaids on the ninjas' foreheads were that of IWA. Whispers of Kiroi Senko filtered through his ears. The scene changed to a familiar training ground where he seemed to be sparring against a boy his own age, but with gravity-defying silver hair with half his face hidden by a mask. Naruto thought that this kid looked like a chibi Kakashi. Is this the future? He thought. The dream changed once more to a sight that Naruto instantly recognized. He stood overlooking the village, from the top of the Yandame's head, and saw the Kyuubi wreaking havoc on the village. The massive demon fox looked up and spotted Naruto. In a voice unlike his own, Naruto said, "So you've spotted me already?" Naruto watched as the Kyuubi created a massive ball of chakra and fired it. The massive ball of chakra sped across the ground toward the Hokage monument. Pulling a kunai from his pouch, Naruto held it out in front of him. The Baijidama was suddenly sucked into a void that had appeared in front of Naruto. How? Naruto thought. Naruto has Minato's personality. The scene shifted once more and Naruto found himself in a very ornate temple wearing very fancy robes. Naruto looked up and felt his jaw drop. An extraordinarily beautiful red-headed woman with light violet eyes was walking down the aisle wearing a white kimono that offset her hair and tan skin wonderfully. "Do you Namikaze Minato take this woman, Uzumaki Kushina, to be your lawfully wedded wife?" Naruto blinked. Who? And why does she have the same last name as me? The scene faded out again. This time Naruto was in a dark room, thought it was slightly illuminated by candles. From what Naruto could see, someone was sitting astride him. Flashes of red and cream could be made out as well as pants and moans could be heard. "Oh, Minakuin, yes, that's it," a breathless female voice was heard above him. "Kushina-chan, you're so beautiful," Naruto gasped as he felt a pressure build up in his stomach. "I could barely think when I saw." "Enough talking and do me," Kushina growled. Naruto felt something tighten around him, something warm and wet. The pressure in his stomach flared. "Oh Kushina, I'm coming!" Naruto cried as he bucked his hips. "Yes, Minakuin, do it inside me," Kushina wailed. Naruto gasped as he felt the pressure give way, and white-hot pleasure coursed through him. Naruto opened his eyes trying to rid himself of the final images, but the breathy moans and cries of this Kushina wouldn't go away. Blood gushed from his nose and splattered against the door while Naruto fell back into the welcoming embrace of unconsciousness. A moment later, the door opened to reveal a pink-haired girl wearing a red dress. She spotted Naruto lying on the futon, blood dripping from his nose and a lecherous grin on his face. "Pervert," Sakura growled before slamming the door behind her. Scene break. The next morning Team 7 was all set to head back to Konoha. Of course, Inari was struggling not to cry as he wailed about losing his big brother. The townspeople had come to see them off as well, calling them a team of heroes. Kakashi, Sakura and Sasuke were quite surprised as the fact that when Tazuna announced the name of the completed bridge that Naruto hadn't started jumping and down and acting like a child. Instead, Naruto seemed to shrink in on himself, blushing furiously and looking down at the ground. It was most unlike the blonde hyperactive ninja that they knew. "All right, you three, we better get going if we want to make it back to the village by nightfall," said Kakashi. Sasuke just grunted while Sakura looked on adorningly. Naruto nodded and turned away from the villagers. "Naruto ani!" Inari shouted, causing Naruto to look over his shoulder. "Don't worry about the village, I promise you that I'll become strong and protect it with both arms," the young boy declared before making the same gesture that his stepfather had. Naruto gave the younger boy a soft grin. "I have faith in you, Inari, I know that you will keep your promise," the blonde said. "I'll see you around, okay?" Inari had to wipe his eyes quickly but gave Naruto a broad smile. "Believe it!" he cried. Naruto nodded before joining his team and setting off. As Team 7 leapt through the forest, Naruto's mind was racing. It seemed to be filled with memories that Naruto had no recollection of. he could see himself performing jutsus that Naruto certainly had no knowledge of. Looking up, Naruto had to blink rapidly. The image of a silver-haired boy wearing blue face mask and a sword strapped to his back wavered then vanished, being replaced by the back of Kakashi-sensei. Turning to his right, Naruto once again had to rub his eyes, as another hazy figure seemed to overlap over Sasuke. This boy was wearing a similar dark jumpsuit to Sasuke but had short hair and was wearing goggles much like Naruto used to. Obito? Naruto thought, though he had no clue where the name Obito came from. Naruto quickly turned toward his female teammate and closed his eyes tightly when instead of Sakura, he saw a dark-haired girl with 2 purple rectangles on her cheeks. Rin? Again, Naruto had no clue where the name Rin came from, but he somehow recognized the figure. Naruto, what the hell are you doing? A sharp voice snapped out, drawing Naruto from his thoughts. Looking up, he saw Sakura glaring back at him. Hurry up, you idiot, or you're going to be left behind. Shaking his head, Naruto channeled some chakra into his legs and leapt off the branch that he had stopped on. He quickly caught up with his team and settled back into formation. However, every time he blinked, Naruto felt as if his hands were twitching to perform some sort of jutsu. In his head, Naruto somehow now knew the hand sign chains for all the jutsus: Shuriken Kage Bunshin, Kunai Kage Bunshin, Kirigakyu no Jutsu, Suetun, Hahanryu, Mizu Bunshin no Jutsu, Suetun, Mizurappa, Right-un, Gain, Right-un, Jibashi and several others. One jutsu that really stuck out in his memory was something called the Rasengan. Now that looks really kick-ass, Naruto thought. Looking back ahead, Naruto pondered whether or not to tell Kakashi about this new knowledge, but then thought better of it. A feeling of disappointment welled up within Naruto, though the blonde had no clue as to why. Why should I? What really has Kakashi taught us? Aside from tree walking. A new string of memories flashed through Naruto's head. He saw a miniature Kakashi watching on as Obito and Rin struggled to perform the chakra control exercise. Alright, that's enough for today, you two, Naruto felt himself say. Now it's time for taijutsu practice. Obito and Rin leapt down from their trees and walked over to where Naruto and Kakashi were sitting. Hey Minato-sensei, can I fight Kakashi team today? I know that I can beat him, Obito asked. Naruto had to stifle a chuckle at the young Uchiha's excitement. Perhaps later, Obito, but first you and Kakashi will watch me and Rin-chan. Alright sensei, Obito whined. As if you could beat me anyway, Kakashi scoffed. What did you say? Obito shouted. Wow, Kakashi seemed to be just like Sasuke, such a bastard, Naruto thought. I mean, I know that I consider Sasuke a rival and I want to surpass him, but I think our rivalry is a lot fiercer than Kakashi and Obito's. And it seems that their sensei actually paid attention to them, instead of reading porn and being 3 hours late. Look at our team and Kakashi's own. Sasuke is an arrogant brat who thinks that he is all that, even though I know that this mission was a wake-up call for him. No longer the big fish in the small pond as Sasuke, Naruto thought. Sakura is unfit to be a ninja at the moment, all she cares about is Sasuke. Rin was never like that, she might have had a crush on Kakashi but she focused on the mission first. Me and Obito are similar, that's for sure. And Kakashi-sensei isn't doing anything to change us. It's honestly a miracle that we survived that mission, Naruto thought. What have I been doing? I have just been expecting Kakashi to come to me with jutsus and training and easy ways to get stronger, not asking for his help. I need to get stronger and sitting back and waiting isn't going to make me get any stronger. Team 7 reached the village gates just as the sun was setting behind the Hokage monument. Naruto looked up and saw the 4 faces of the Hokage looking out over the village. That's the face of that Minato guy. But that's the 4th Hokage. Why in Kami's name am I seeing memories through the 4th Hokage's eyes? Come on you 3, the Hokage will want to see us, Kakashi said. Once we have been dismissed, we'll meet at Training Ground 7 the day after tomorrow. Ah, Team 7, welcome home, the 3rd Hokage said warmly as the group entered the Hokage's office. It seems that your mission went longer than you expected. How did you all enjoy your first C-rank mission? The room was awkwardly silent for a moment, as Hiruzen examined the 3 genin before him. Kakashi, your report? Hi Hokage-sama, Kakashi said. The mission to escort the bridge builder Tazuna was successful, but the client Tazuna lied about the details regarding the level of his mission request. Oh? Explain, Hiruzen ordered. On our way to the border we were attacked by the missing Nin duo known as the Demon Brothers, Kakashi said. I felt it wise to trick them into believing that they had ambushed us, to discover what their true objective was. Genin Uchiha was able to fend off the pair for a moment, while I ascertained their target, then I returned to the group and took care of the pair. And their target was? Hiruzen asked, his voice deepening. Their target was the bridge builder Tazuna, Kakashi said. It seems that the CEO of the Gato Corporation, Gatamanji, had managed to put a stranglehold on the Wave Country. And he had hired Ninja to eliminate Tazuna as the man's bridge, the only thing keeping Gato from having a true chokehold on the country. After discovering that Tazuna had lied to us about the mission parameters, I discussed the situation with my genin and then continued on with the mission. You decided to continue with a mission that was obviously outside of your genin's capabilities, Hiruzen snapped. Just the presence alone of the demon brothers brought the mission up to a B rank. I felt confident that I could handle what was coming, and all three of the genin decided to continue the mission, Kakashi said, though he could feel a bead of sweat beginning to trickle down his back at the heavy glare that his commander was giving him. Don't blame Kakashi-sensei, Gigi, Naruto piped up. We all decided to keep going and help Tazuna-san. Be that as it may, Naruto, your sensei should have known better than to continue on, Hiruzen said sharply. Continue, Hataki? Yes, sir. As we reached the Wave Country, we found ourselves facing Zabuza Momochi. What? The aged Hokage's voice boomed out, causing the three genin to flinch and Kakashi to rub the back of his head sheepishly. With the help of Genin Uzumaki and Uchiha, I was able to defeat Zabuza, though he was able to escape with the help of his apprentice, who we thought was a Kiri Hunter Nin, Kakashi said. After recovering from chakra exhaustion, I then trained my team for a week, as I surmised that Zabuza would need at least a week to recover from his injuries. And what did you train Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke in? The Hokage asked. Tree climbing, Kakashi answered, knowing that the Hokage wouldn't be happy with that answer. And Kakashi was right. How long have you had your team, Kakashi? Hiruzen asked. 6 weeks, Kakashi answered. And you only just now have taught them tree walking, a basic chakra control exercise that all other genin know 2 weeks outside of the academy. What have you been teaching them, Kakashi? Teamwork and formations, Kakashi said. Hiruzen rubbed the bridge of his nose. Kakashi, we will be having a long discussion on your teaching methods, the Hokage said. But since you four have returned, I am to surmise that everything worked out in the end. Yes, Hokage-sama, Kakashi said. He then gave the rest of his report, leaving out Naruto's QB episode, though the Hokage knew that Kakashi was still leaving something out. All right, Team 7, you are dismissed. Kakashi, stay behind. We will be having words, Hiruzen ordered. Sasuke and Sakura quickly left the office, Naruto trailing behind them. As he was leaving, Naruto looked up and saw the portraits of the former Hokage. The picture of the fourth Hokage caught Naruto's eye and made him freeze. Minato, I'm sorry I took up all your time, a pained female voice filled Naruto's ears. It's okay, Kushina, Naruto, listen to your motor-mouthed mother, a man's voice, weak and watery, added. Find a dream and don't stop until you've achieved it. We believe in you, son. Naruto, are you alright? Hiruzen asked. Naruto blinked. I'm okay, Gigi, Naruto answered. Just zoned out there. Kakashi-sensei, what was your sensei's name? He asked. Minato, Kakashi answered. Naruto nodded slowly as the pieces began to fall together. I will see you at training the day after tomorrow, Naruto said. Gigi. See you then, Naruto-kun, Kakashi said. The blonde nodded to the Hokage before leaving the office. Kakashi turned to the Hokage. Sir, during the battle on the bridge, Naruto managed to access its chakra, Kakashi said. How? It seems that during the battle, Sasuke took a hit that was meant for Naruto, and Naruto thought that Sasuke was dead and grew enraged, Kakashi said. And ever since waking up, Naruto has been different. Different how? He has been quiet, and we have constantly had to regain his attention, Kakashi said. Is it possible that something happened to the seal? I do not know. I will recall Jiraiya, Hiruzen said. I wanted him to return in time for the Chunin exams. Oh, those are approaching quickly, Kakashi said. You do know that your team will be expected to compete, Hiruzen commented. And I might agree, this graduating class is made up nearly exclusively of clan heirs and it would look good for the village if they competed. Have you told the others? Kakashi asked. No, I am leaving the decision up to you three, but something is stirring in the leaves, the Hokage said as he packed his pipe and lit it with a katon jutsu. I fear that something is quickly approaching our village, and it does not bode well for the will of fire. Train your team, Kakashi, for the next week, hard. I want them ready even if you do not nominate them. Hi, Kakashi said. By your leave, sir. Hiruzen nodded and Kakashi vanished in a puff of smoke. Scene break. Naruto arrived at the front door to his apartment as if on autopilot. Withdrawing the key from his kunai pouch, Naruto unlocked the door and let himself in. Absently flicking on the lights, Naruto trudged his way through the ramen containers and dirty clothes to his bedroom. I'll clean it up in the morning, Naruto thought. The blonde barely made it to his bed, shucking his jacket aside, before collapsing on the mattress and falling asleep. Where am I? Naruto asked out loud as he looked around his surroundings. He seemed to be in the bowels of an enormous sewer with a faulty drain system. He was standing in ankle-deep water. Naruto froze when a deep, rumbling chuckle echoed down the tunnel. Slowly Naruto made his way down the tunnel until he came upon a massive room with dozens of pipes leading up into a ceiling shrouded in darkness. So my jailer has finally deemed me worthy with his presence, a deep, dark voice boomed out from the shadows. Naruto shivered at the voice's malice-filled laugh. Naruto froze once more when he saw two massive red, silted eyes staring out of the darkness at him. Who are you? Naruto stammered. You know who I am, boy, the voice chuckled darkly. Where am I? Naruto asked. We are in your mindscape. Why am I here? I brought you here, boy. Wait, you are the Kyuubi? Naruto realized. Out of the gloom came the massive jaw and fangs of the Kyuubi no Kitsune. Why did you bring me here? And how did you? I brought you here because something has changed in the seal, the fox growled. Naruto looked up and saw that a large piece of paper with dozens of symbols written on it. Clang! Naruto leapt backward as the fox surged forward, slamming into the bars. The seal and bars glowed blue before the fox was pushed backward. Are you afraid, boy? You should be, because I will get out of this seal and devour you, the Kyuubi snarled. You killed my parents, didn't you? That's who that blonde and redhead I've been seeing in my dreams, memories or whatever, Naruto asked. Of course I did, that damnable fourth Hokage and that woman, the fox growled, malice dripping from his tone. They were your parents. Do you hate me? Yes, Naruto snarled. If it wasn't for you, my parents wouldn't be dead, I wouldn't be hated by nearly the entire village. If it wasn't for you. Do not blame me for your misery, boy. I smelt a chance for freedom when I was wrenched from your mother's curse seal and I took it. If it wasn't for your damnable father or that man's Sharingan, I wouldn't be stuck inside you. You said something had changed with the seal, what did you mean? Naruto asked, filing away the fact that the Kyuubi mentioned the Sharingan as well as being sealed in his mother for later. I do not know, boy. The fox snarled, baring its fangs. I don't wish to know what goes on in you human's head, but I no longer sense a pair of presences in the seal. I haven't since you called upon my chakra back in the wave. Whatever, fox, I hope I never see you again, Naruto growled. Now how the hell do I get out of here? It's your mind, brat, you control it, figure it out for yourself, the fox snarled. Naruto glared at the fox as it receded back into the shadows of the cage. Naruto slowly opened his eyes, and saw the worn, darkened white ceiling of his bedroom. Robotically, Naruto rose from his bed, knowing that he wouldn't be able to get back to sleep. Pulling on a pair of sweats and a thin shirt, Naruto left his apartment, and made his way to his favorite thinking spot, the top of the fourth Hokage's head. Naruto didn't meet a single soul on his way to the Hokage monument, and felt a sense of peace wash over him as he sat down on top of the fourth Hokage's head. Why? He whispered. Why did he pick me? Minato couldn't force another family to give up their child if he wasn't willing to do the same, Hiruzen's soft voice filled with regret answered Naruto's whispered question. Naruto turned to see the elder Kage watching him. Perhaps we should continue this talk in my office? Naruto nodded and stood up and walked over to the elder Kage. Hiruzen placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder, and in a swirl of leaves, the pair vanished from the top of the monument. Why didn't you tell me? Naruto asked when the duo had returned to the Hokage's office. How? Hiruzen asked. How could I tell you that you were the son of the fourth Hokage? How was I supposed to tell you that your parents were two of the greatest heroes that this village has ever or will ever know? Your parents had many enemies both in and out of the village, and I decided that it would be safer for you that no one know your heritage. Do you have any idea how much pain you've caused me, Gigi? Naruto shouted. Thinking that my parents abandoned me. You would only tell me that they died fighting the fox. You were the only one in the entire village who said anything like that. Everyone else would just say that my parents abandoned me because I wasn't worthy of having parents. Naruto, who had tears streaming down his cheeks, looked up at his grandfather figure who had gone stock still and pale-faced in anger. The young blonde could feel the beginnings of Hiruzen's ki seeping out from the older man's control. Hiruzen noticed that Naruto had stopped screaming and was now looking slightly scared. With a deep breath, Hiruzen reined in his growing anger and turned back to the young blonde that was a grandson to him. Naruto-kun, I apologize, Hiruzen said. I know that you don't wish to hear that, but that is all I can do. Naruto wiped his eyes. I know, Gigi, he muttered. I know that you did as much as you could, but it is going to take me a long time before I can even think of forgiving you or the village for what you've all done to me. And I will never forget it either. The Sandaime Hokage felt his advanced age at the young blonde's words. I can understand why you feel that way, Naruto-kun, he said. If I was in your position, I don't think I would be able to stand up as well as you have. You are the strongest person I know, Naruto-kun. Your parents would be extremely proud of you right now. I am. Naruto nodded. Hey Gigi, do you have any idea what a chakra affinity is? That's quite an interesting change of subject, Naruto-kun, the Hokage chuckled. Why would you want to know about such an advanced subject? Normally one doesn't begin training in their affinity until they are at least a chunin. But Sasuke team can shoot those awesome fireballs and Kakashi-sensei has that sweet lightning hand thing. Hiruzen chuckled at the enthusiastic Naruto. Very well, Naruto-kun, he said. A person normally has a chakra element that they are naturally tuned toward. You know what the 5 elements are, correct? Naruto nodded. Hiruzen strode over to his desk and opened a drawer. What are you looking for? Naruto asked. Ah, here it is, Hiruzen said, standing up and showing Naruto what he was holding. It was a small piece of paper. What's that? This, Naruto-kun, is chakra paper, Hiruzen said. You just channel a small amount of chakra into it, and it revels your chakra affinity. If the paper gets set on fire, you have a katon affinity. If it gets wet, sueton, crumbles, doton, splits, futon and crinkles, you have a riton affinity. Now of course that doesn't mean you can't learn jutsus that are not of your affinity, it just will be more difficult to learn those jutsus. Jutsus of your natural affinity will cost less chakra to use and will usually be more powerful. Do you understand? Naruto nodded rapidly, even though he already knew what Hiruzen had told him somehow. A voice in his head, not the fox's, had sprung up and explained the test. An unfamiliar face, a face that was framed by long white hair and had 2 red lines of makeup on his cheeks, appeared in Naruto's mind's eye with the voice. Go ahead, Naruto-kun, Hiruzen said, holding the piece of paper out for Naruto to take. The blonde did so and channeled a small amount of chakra. The paper spilled down the middle, one side turned wet while the other crinkled in on itself. 3 affinities. And at such a young age, Hiruzen thought. His father had futon and Kushina-chan had sueton, but for Naruto-kun to have both and riton as well is certainly a surprise. Well, Naruto-kun, congratulations, the Hokage said. You certainly are living up to your reputation of being the most unpredictable ninja. Hiruzen made his way back to his desk and opened another drawer, and withdrew 3 scrolls. Here you are, Naruto-kun, Hiruzen said, handing over the 3 scrolls. What are these? The blonde asked. They are scrolls on elemental manipulation for your 3 affinities, Hiruzen said with a soft smile. They contain the exercises for sueton, riton and futon manipulation. I am sure that you will find them quite useful in learning to control your chakra. Thank you, Hokage-sama, Naruto said, cradling the 3 scrolls as if they were newborn babes. Now off to bed with you, Naruto-kun, Hiruzen said. You will need to get some sleep to recover your strength for tomorrow. I am sure that Kakashi will be quite surprised when he learns that you have 3 affinities. The Hokage must have noticed something in Naruto's face because he then asked, What's the matter, Naruto-kun? Kakashi-sensei hasn't really been paying attention to us. Well, me and Sakura-chan, he mainly focuses on Sasuke, Naruto admitted. Hiruzen's face grew hard. I will be having a discussion with Kakashi in the morning about his training methods, the Hokage said. I think when you meet with him tomorrow, he will have a different outlook when training you all. Naruto nodded. He tried to stifle a yawn, but the aged Hokage caught it. Off to bed with you, Naruto-kun, Hiruzen chuckled warmly. Night, Gigi, Naruto said as he turned toward the door. Good night, Naruto-kun, Hiruzen said. When the door to his office closed, Hiruzen sat heavily down at his desk and leaned back. Minato, Kushina, you would be so proud of your son, he said. And you would also string me up by my toes for what I have done. I have failed your son, and I know that when I meet you 2 again you both will be taking out your pound of flesh. But I swear with all the life that is left in my body, I will see that Naruto will become the hero that you both knew that he would grow to become. Then perhaps, Kushina-chan, you won't kill me again. Hiruzen shivered as a cold wind blew through the office. Scene break. Naruto arrived at Training Ground 7 just before the team's scheduled meeting time of 7 a.m. He knew that Kakashi would arrive at least 2 hours late, but Naruto couldn't fall back asleep, so he decided to just make his way to the training ground. Neither Sakura nor Sasuke were there when Naruto reached the training ground. He sat at the base of the same post that he had been tied to when they first became a team. Opening the futon scroll, Naruto began to read. Naruto, Naruto, Naruto. Sakura's voice slammed into Naruto's ears. H. Naruto jumped, landing on top of the post with the kunai drawn and raised. Blinking, he realized that Sakura and Sasuke were looking at him like he was nuts. What the hell, Sakura? Why'd you yell in my ear? You wouldn't answer me, Baka, Sakura snapped. I've been calling your name for like a minute now, and you didn't answer. What are you reading? Nothing, just some jutsu scrolls, Naruto answered quickly. He gathered up the journal and sealed it back in Kushina's scroll. You were reading? Sasuke scoffed. I didn't know that a dobe like you could read. Naruto growled deeply and tightly gripped his kunai, wanting to slash the blade through Sasuke's chest. A ninja must always remain in control of their emotions, Naruto heard his father's voice whisper in his head. Don't get mad, get even, a second voice brought Naruto's head up. A grin crossed Naruto's mouth as he recognized his mother's voice, and how similar they seemed if she would say something like that. Stowing the kunai, Naruto stood up and stretched, groaning in relief as several bones, tendons and ligaments popped. Sakura turned away in disgust. Why are we even here if we know that Kakashi-sensei isn't going to be here for another 2 or so hours? Naruto asked. We don't know that, Baka, Sakura snapped. We could show up late and Kakashi-sensei could be waiting for us. Who would have thought that Kakashi would have taken up Obito's excuses, Naruto thought. Come on, Sakura, Kakashi-sensei has never been on time for any of our meetings, aside from when we first left for the wave, Naruto said. Why don't we do some training while we wait? You're going to need all the training you can get, dobe, Sasuke sneered. But I could use a warm-up, let's see if you can even land a blow. Naruto breathed in deeply through his nose, trying to calm himself down as well as drown out Sakura's shouting out encouragement for Sasuke. Naruto saw Sasuke take the opening stance of his family's interceptor style. A hazy image floated in front of Sasuke, a boy Sasuke's age wearing a blue jumpsuit trimmed with orange and goggles with orange lenses and ear protectors. Sasuke noticed Naruto staring off into space and surged forward, fist raised to nail Naruto across the face. However, as Sasuke's fist rocketed toward Naruto's face, the blonde-haired boy's eyes snapped back to attention and his right hand came up and slapped Sasuke's fist aside. Sasuke's eyes widened in surprise as he struggled to keep his balance. He hadn't expected Naruto to block his opening salvo. Naruto slid behind Sasuke and aimed a strike at Sasuke's back. Sasuke used his forward momentum to plant his hands on the ground and then whipped his legs around in a spin kick. Naruto ducked under Sasuke's kick and used a sweep kick to knock Sasuke's arms out from under him. Sasuke rolled forward, landing on his feet and spinning around, eyes wide. Looks like the first point goes to me as Sasuke, Naruto said as he settled into a stance that he had never used but it felt as natural as breathing. What stance is that? Sasuke asked. Not sure, Naruto shrugged. But it feels right if you can understand that. I'm sure that you practice your family's katas enough that it became effortless. Sasuke nodded. He could easily relate to what Naruto was saying. He had always believed that in order to be successful as a ninja, you couldn't worry about remembering your katas or hand seals. So to combat this, Sasuke practiced endlessly on memorizing his family's taijutsu-style's katas until he could perform them without even thinking. Naruto darted forward. Sasuke activated his Sharingan on reflex as he ducked under a punch from Naruto. The Uchiha heir launched his own punch at Naruto's midsection. He connected, but it wasn't the solid blow that Sasuke was hoping for. Naruto saw that he wasn't going to be able to dodge Sasuke's strike fully, so he angled his body so that instead of Sasuke's fist knocking him directly in the sternum, most likely a staggering blow, Sasuke's blow only clipped Naruto's side. It stung, but Naruto just shrugged the pain aside. Naruto stepped inside Sasuke's outstretched guard and landed several quick blows. None looked very strong, but Sasuke leapt backward, clutching his left arm and side, a frown marring his normally stoic face. How are you doing this? Sasuke demanded. I don't know, Naruto said. I'm just doing what comes naturally. What's going on here? A stern, yet somewhat amused voice asked from the edge of the sparring circle. So you decided to show up, Kakashi-sensei? Naruto quipped. And just when it was getting good. Kakashi-sensei. You're late. Sakura screamed, pointing a finger at the silver-haired man, who scratched the back of his head in an embarrassed fashion. Sorry, I had to stop and help an old lady take her groceries home, and then a black cat crossed my path, so I had to run twice around the village. You know, bad luck and all that, Kakashi said. Sasuke and Sakura groaned at the terrible excuse from Kakashi while Naruto chuckled warmly. Kakashi with Obito's personality. That's going to take some getting used to, Naruto thought. He shook his head, tossing aside his thoughts that were melding with his father's. Toussaint said that he would put some of his and Ka-san's chakra in the seal for some reason. I wonder if when I use the Kyuubi's chakra in Nami, The seal activated and something happened caused the seal to absorb their chakra into me. It would sort of explain why I was dreaming about my parents from their points of view, and how I have any idea what I'm talking about, Naruto thought. So Kakashi-sensei, what are we going to do today? Sakura asked. Not more D-rank missions, I hope? No, Kakashi said. Hokage-sama has decided to give our team a week off from missions since our last one was upgraded from a C rank to an A rank. So today we will be expanding on what you were taught in Nami. Tree climbing? Naruto asked. Correct. But we already know how to climb trees with our chakra, Sakura whined. That might be true, but you haven't mastered it, Kakashi said. You have only mastered this exercise when you can stay attached to a vertical surface for 3 hours straight, or are able to fight on a vertical surface without having to think about channeling chakra. So you three know the drill, get to it. Sakura and Naruto groaned while Sasuke sneered, but the trio of genin made their way over to the group of trees that lined the sparring circle. Slowly, Naruto made his way up his tree, focusing on completing the exercise correctly rather than getting it done first. He knew that his amount of chakra dwarfed Sasuke's. Even Kakashi's chakra level was barely a third of Naruto's chakra level. Naruto was confident that he would outlast the other members of his team, so he solely focused on sticking to the tree upside down for as long as possible, as well as walking on a high branch. He figured that having the blood rush to your head was a good deterrent to concentrating, and made the exercise harder. Kakashi watched from his perch in a nearby tree. His cute little genin might think that he wasn't paying attention to them and only reading his Aika, but Kakashi was actually watching the team. When he arrived, only 20 minutes late, a new record, Kakashi was stunned to see that Naruto and Sasuke sparring. Well, maybe not that surprised at the fact that they were fighting, but that Naruto was winning was the surprise. As well as taijutsu stance that the blonde had been using, it looked like a cross between Minato-sensei's style and Kushina-sensei's style. But that was impossible. Naruto had only known about his parents for one night, hadn't he? Kakashi-sensei, I can't go on, Sakura whined as she leapt down from her tree. All right, Sakura, take a 10-minute break, but then you're going to do it again, Kakashi ordered, much to the horror of the pink-haired kunoichi. But. No but, Sakura, Kakashi said sharply. You have the smallest chakra reserves of any of the recent graduates, and the only way to increase those reserves is to exhaust them each day and push past your limits. The main reason you have such perfect chakra control is because you have so little chakra. Sakura began tearing up. Even her sensei thought she was weak. You're not weak, Sakura, Kakashi interrupted her thought process. You just don't have the shinobi lineage that Naruto and Sasuke does. So you will have to work harder than them to gain more chakra. Having such exceptional chakra control is a boon for such a young shinobi. I think you'll be quite suited to genjutsu or medical ninjutsu, both of which require excellent chakra control. Who knows, perhaps you could become the next Tsunade of the Sannin. You really think so, sensei? Sakura gasped. She had read all about the legendary Senju Tsunade of the Sannin, granddaughter of the Shodame Hokage, grandniece of the Nidame Hokage, during the academy. But you are going to have to work extremely hard, Sakura, Kakashi said. Hey Kakashi-sensei, is there something else I can do? Naruto asked. Kakashi looked up and nearly fell out of his tree. Naruto was alternating from walking upside down on a high branch and hanging by his hands from that same branch. Naruto, how the hell are you doing that? Sakura cried. Well, I know that I've got a whole bunch of chakra, Naruto explained. And I knew that I would get too bored just hanging around, get it? The others groaned at the crappy pun. Everyone's a critic. But I was trying to come up with ways to make this exercise harder, and then I figured if I had to keep changing where I was channeling my chakra, it would force me to focus on controlling it and do it quickly. Kakashi looked at his blonde student. That's pretty clever, the silver-haired jonin thought. By switching back and forth from channeling chakra to the soles of his feet and hands, he is splitting his concentration between two opposite places, which increases the difficulties of this exercise by quite a bit. Bravo, Naruto. Well then, Naruto, why don't follow me, Kakashi said. I think I have something that will keep you interested. Naruto released his hold on the branch and quickly fell to the ground, falling into a crouch as he landed to absorb the impact. Naruto jogged over to follow Kakashi, leaving Sakura looking confused and Sasuke fuming. So what now, Kakashi-sensei? Naruto asked. Are you going to teach me a badass jutsu or something? Not quite, Kakashi chuckled. Despite the newfound maturity that Naruto seemed to possess, he was still Naruto. This next exercise is still a chakra-controlling one. It is the next step after tree walking. Water walking, right? Naruto asked. Kakashi looked at his student. How did you know that? He asked. I'm not sure, Naruto said with a faraway look. Inwardly, Naruto was cursing himself out. He didn't want anyone to know how he knew things that he had no business knowing. Naruto wanted an edge over his enemies. I think I saw some Jonin teaching his team a couple years ago, and I remembered you were walking on water during your fight against Zabuza. Kakashi nodded, his curiosity sated but not satisfied. Naruto was displaying a maturity and perceptiveness that he hadn't shown in the academy nor in the last few months as a member of Team 7. Yes, my cute genin, Kakashi chuckled. Water walking is much harder than tree walking, though the principles are pretty much the same. Water walking forces you to channel a constant amount of chakra to force a hardening of the water under your feet in order to stand on it, instead of channeling a fixed amount of chakra to stick to the tree. Think you are up to it? Of course, Kakashi-sensei, Naruto cried. Believe it! I'll have this mastered in no time. Well then, I'll leave you to it, Kakashi grinned. Yash! Naruto saluted. Kakashi vanished in a puff of smoke as Naruto turned to face his new enemy, the lake that bordered Training Ground 7. Kakashi-sensei, where's Naruto? Sakura asked when Kakashi returned to the clearing. He's over at the lake working on the next exercise, Kakashi said. Once you two have mastered this one, you'll join him. How did Naruto manage to master this? Sasuke growled. He didn't like the fact that the dobe was catching up to him. He was the rookie of the year, the strongest of their class, and yet Naruto was working on an exercise that he wasn't. Gritting his teeth, Sasuke glared up at the tree and returned to the exercise. The week after Team 7's return from the wave, the three genin of Naruto, Sakura and Sasuke saw a marked change in their sensei. Kakashi was actually training them, and quite successfully. Sakura and Sasuke had mastered the tree walking exercise and had moved on to the water walking exercise. Both Sasuke and Sakura were glad to be catching up with Naruto, even though they were both stunned and a bit angry that the class dobe was now in front of them. Meanwhile, Naruto was learning at a far faster rate than the other two. He had progressed enough in water walking to be able to stand on top of the lake, and was working on running across the lake's surface while some of his clones caused waves to ripple across the lake. Kakashi was greatly impressed at the progress that his students were making. It seemed that Sakura and Naruto were starting to take being a ninja seriously. Kakashi knew that Sasuke had lost much of his innocence during that fateful night 6 years ago, and Naruto had very truly had a childhood with the way he had been treated and had had to grow up much quicker than anyone aside from Sasuke, even if he didn't act like it. When not training with his teammates, Naruto was training himself. One memory from his parents had stood out from many of the others. He had discovered the secret behind the Kage Bunshin. When a clone was dispelled, its memories were transferred back to the creator. He had seen Minato and Kushina both using the technique to train. Kushina was able to abuse the idea much more frequently because of her being the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi. Naruto used the Kage Bunshin training method to quickly learn the basics of elemental manipulation for all three of his elements. Cutting a leaf with his chakra came the quickest to Naruto. Withdrawing the water from a wet towel coming second, and then creating a spark with his chakra was the most difficult exercise. Alright you three, that's enough for today, Kakashi called out as the genin of Team 7 kept practicing the water walking exercise, though now all three had progressed far enough to be walking on a moving stream. I have to go to a meeting with the Hokage, so we're done for the day. Today was our last day of leave, so tomorrow we will begin missions again. Later. The silver-haired Jonin vanished in a puff of smoke, leaving the three panting genin staring at the spot. Why would the Hokage need to meet with Kakashi-sensei? Sakura asked. He's probably still on the old man's bad side from letting us continue on the wave mission, Naruto said. In hindsight, we all got really lucky that none of us were truly seriously injured. How can you say that, Naruto? Sakura cried. Sasuke-kun was nearly killed by that Haku boy, and Kakashi-sensei got really hurt fighting Zabuza. Yes, but if Kakashi-sensei had just turned down Tazuna's plea, either of them would have gotten hurt, Naruto pointed out. I wanted to help out Tazuna as much as anyone, but we weren't ready for that type of a mission and got really lucky. Sakura and Sasuke both didn't want to admit, but they knew that Naruto was right. They had gotten exceedingly lucky that they had survived the mission to the wave. Scene break. So good of you to join us, Kakashi, Hiruzen said as the silver-haired Jonin arrived at the meeting. Of course, sir, Kakashi said, falling into line with his fellow Jonin. As you all probably already know, but that time is quickly approaching, Hiruzen said. The Chunin selection exams are now upon us, and I will open the floor to any sensei whose team that has completed at least 10 missions to compete for their nominations. The Jonin who had been senseis for years stepped forward and nominated their teams. Then it came time for the newer Jonin senseis. I, Mato Guy, nominate my team of Rock Lee, Niji Hyuga and Tenten, under my name for the Chunin selection exams, Guy announced, his face set in stone. I, Asuma Sarutobi, nominate my genin team of Shikamaru Nara, Choji Akimichi and Ino Yamanaka, under my name for the Chunin selection exams, Asuma said, his mouth conspicuously free of cigarettes. I, Kurina Yuhi, nominate my genin team of Hinata Hyuga, Shino Abirame and Kiba Inazaka, under my name for the Chunin selection exams, Kurinai said, her face set. I, Kakashi Hataki, nominate my genin team of Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno and Naruto Uzumaki, under my name for the Chunin selection exams, Kakashi said, his book nowhere in sight. All three of them, a voice whispered from the back of the room. Now hold on, Irika said from the side of the room. Lord Hokage, all 9 of the rookie genin were my students at the academy, and while they are all very talented, none of them are ready for these exams. Please, you must stop. Irika, Kakashi's voice snapped out, causing the academy instructor to stiffen. That wasn't the voice of the normal laid-back Kakashi. It was the former ANBU captain Kakashi who spoke. These genin are no longer your students, they are our soldiers and we believe that they are ready for these exams. Perhaps you don't have faith in their abilities, but we do, or we would not have nominated them. Irika flinched at Kakashi's rebuke. He opened his mouth to retort, but a raised hand from the Hokage stalled his continued protest. That is enough, Hiruzen said coolly. If Kakashi, Kurinai and Asuma believe that their students are ready for the exams, I will not stop them from nominating them. The exams will begin in 1 week's time. I trust you all will inform your students in enough time for them to make their own decisions. Kakashi, Kurinai and Asuma nodded. Good, you are all dismissed. Though Kakashi, would you mind staying for a brief moment? As the Jonin filed out of the conference room, Kakashi kept his eyes fixed on his commander as his comrades walked past him. Once the final Jonin had left, being Irika, and closed the door. What can I do for you, Lord Hokage? Kakashi asked, bowing before the aged man. I see you have taken my advice to heart, Kakashi-kun, Hiruzen chuckled. The reports of your team's training have borne quite a bit of fruit. Kakashi rubbed the back of his head in an embarrassed fashion. I apologize, sir, for not putting my full effort into training my team. I know that Minato-sensei would have been ashamed of my attitude toward my students. I can only surmise that because I was so advanced by the time I graduated, I didn't pay attention to what Minato-sensei taught Obito and Rin. Hiruzen nodded at Kakashi's reason. Kakashi had graduated from the academy when he was 5, and had become a Jonin at 13 while under the command of Minato. It wasn't until the tragedy of Kanobi Bridge that Kakashi had broken out of his cold, nearly Danzo-like ninja mentality. Hiruzen only wished that it hadn't cost Obito Uchiha his life for Kakashi to begin to open up his heart that had been locked up since his father had taken his own life. And now, I think I truly understand why Minato-sensei always felt that teaching young ninja was the greatest gift a shinobi could do, Kakashi said. Seeing those 3 learning so quickly and getting stronger, it really is. Hiruzen nodded, seeing the proud expression on the masked ninja's face. I do, Kakashi-kun, I truly do, the Hokage said with a smile as he thought back to his own students. By your leave, sir, I believe I have a training regime to come up with to make sure that my brats are up to scratch, Kakashi said. The Hokage nodded and watched the silver-haired man leave his office in a puff of smoke. Scene break. It had been a week since Kakashi had given Team 7 the news that he had entered them in the Chunin exams. He had given them the last 2 days before the exams off in order to prepare. Naruto had spent the time reviewing his parents' memories of the exams. He was comforted by the fact that both Minato and Kushina hadn't passed their first Chunin exam. Actually, for Kushina it took 3 tries, Minato passed on his second attempt. But they always reached the 3rd stage, so Naruto promised himself that he would give him the chance to be promoted by making it to the 3rd exam no matter what. Naruto rolled out of bed the morning of the first exam, feeling nervous yet excited. He knew what was coming. In all of his parents' memories, the first exam had always featured some sort of intelligence-gathering test. Usually Konoha did this by forcing the genin to take a written test that had answers that no normal genin could answer, followed by a do-or-die question that was the true meaning behind the test. Opening his closet, Naruto sighed as he took his unusual outfit of the bright orange jumpsuit. Everyone belittled him for wearing such a non-ninja outfit, but they didn't think about why he wore it. The outfit was the only thing that he had, the only thing that the shopkeepers of Konoha allowed him to buy. A wave of anger flowed over Naruto at the thought of his tormentors. Hypocrites, he thought savagely. Toussaint wanted me to be known as a hero, and yet these people spit on his final wishes even though they praise him for being one of the most powerful shinobi of all time alongside the Shodaime. Pushing aside his thoughts of revenge, that would only prove to them that I am what they fear, Naruto muttered to himself. In the back of Naruto's closet was his new outfit. He had taken inspiration from his father's childhood outfit. Over the previous week, Naruto, under a disguise, had gone into several different stores to purchase his new clothes. His advanced henge had fooled the civilian shopkeepers easily, and Naruto was able to purchase his supplies without incident, and without the inflated prices that the shopkeepers liked to push onto him. The only store that Naruto never used a henge to shop at was the shinobi supply store that was run by a retired shinobi. The owner of the store never overpriced Naruto, never chased him out of the store, and always answered any of Naruto's questions. "There you Naruto baka!" Sakura shouted as Naruto leapt down from a tree overhanging the path leading to the academy. "You were supposed to be here 20 minutes ago." Sakura blinked for a moment as she took in Naruto's new outfit. Gone was the bright orange jumpsuit. In its place was a much more subdued, ninja-like outfit. A forest green sleeveless hoodie covered a dark orange long-sleeved shirt with black A&BU-style pants and sandals. Even Naruto's hair was different. It was longer and shaggier, with 2 bangs hanging down even with his eyes. "What?" Naruto asked sharply. "What are you wearing?" Sakura asked. "I thought it was time for a change," Naruto shrugged. "Our mission to Nami opened my eyes to the realities of this world. I need to start taking this seriously or I'll be killed easily." Sasuke and Sakura blinked at Naruto's answer. Where is the blonde baka that would always shout out that he was going to become Hokage? He actually seems cool, Sakura thought. He has to be trying to copy Sasuke-kun. Cha, a voice shouted in Sakura's head. Looks like the dobe is getting his act together, Sasuke thought as he nodded to his blonde teammate. Baka, stop trying to act like Sasuke-kun, Sakura shouted. You'll never do as cool as Sasuke-kun. Did I say anything at all about trying to be like Sasuke? Naruto asked quietly as he looked at Sakura with a hard look. Everyone kept making fun of me because of what I was wearing, saying it wasn't shinobi-like, and now when I start taking this seriously, you're yelling at me. Perhaps you should take a look in the mirror. A red dress and pink hair aren't the most conspicuous outfit for being a ninja. Sakura looked like Naruto had just slapped her while Sasuke was grinning slightly. Who knew the dobe could stand up for himself? The banshee needed that wake-up call, the Uchiha heir thought. Come on you two, Sasuke barked as Sakura's eyes began to tear up. We don't want to be late. Naruto nodded. He and Sakura turned to follow Sasuke into the academy. Naruto chanced to look back at his female teammate and saw her trying to hold back tears. Naruto felt his chest tighten and sighed. Look Sakura, I'm sorry about snapping at you, but you know that I'm right, Naruto said. You always told me that I needed to start taking being a ninja seriously, and that wearing orange is a terrible color for being a shinobi. And then when I do change my clothes, you start yelling at me again. Look at your own clothes. Bright red is almost as bad as orange. You can't be blind to your own faults, Sakura. Mine was my hyperactiveness and my attitude toward being a shinobi. I've tried to counter that, but it's a work in progress. Kakashi-sensei said that you had the smallest chakra reserves on the team, and for the last 2 weeks you've been working on growing them, and it shows. I know that you come from a civilian family, and you want to wear your clan's symbol, and that's fine. But if you're going to berate me for my clothes, take a look at your own. Sakura looked down at the ground. Naruto's lecturing me. Who does he think he is? She thought angrily. But is he wrong? Inner Sakura commented. During the academy we would also yell at Naruto for wearing that hideous orange jumpsuit, and now when he changes, we yell at him again even when he did what we said to do. Sakura blinked. I never thought that you would be the voice of reason, she thought. Naruto breathed a sigh of relief when he saw Sakura's face change from one of anger to confusion to acceptance. Come on Sakura, he said. We better get moving before Sasuke decides to pull that massive stick out of his ass and beats us over the head with it. Sakura giggled and nodded. The pair raced down the path to catch up with their other teammate who was waiting for them at the entrance to the academy. Team 7 made their way inside the academy and turned toward the staircase to take them to the 3rd floor. Naruto narrowed his eyes as they came upon a group of ninja from all over trying to get inside the classroom but were being blocked by 2 older-looking genin. Something is going on, Naruto thought. There's no way that we are on the 3rd floor. We only went up 1 set of stairs genjutsu. They must be trying to weed out some of the competition by having a pretest of sorts. This must be new since either Ka-san or Tusan's memories have anything like this. Release this pathetic genjutsu and let us pass, Sasuke barked, causing Naruto to slap his hand to his forehead. Oh, so you noticed the genjutsu, one of the older genin smirked. In a puff of smoke, the pair changed their appearance to revel Kamizuki Izumo and Hagain Kotetsu, the Chunin duo that were always doing gate duty. Looks like we've got some exceptional candidates, Izumo said, causing several of the genin to grin. But if you think just because you were able to see such a weak genjutsu, you'll be able to become Chunin, then you're going to get eaten alive during these exams. They are no joke. Chunin are team leaders, and they are expected to lead genin teams on dangerous missions that could cost people their lives. If you think that you'll just breeze through these exams, you've got another thing coming. People die in these exams. Have fun, Kotetsu grinned before the pair vanished in a puff of smoke. Come on, Sasuke ordered. Naruto and Sakura jogged after Sasuke. You shouldn't have said anything, Sasuke, Naruto whispered. You saw how many people didn't even realize the genjutsu. The competition would have been so much less. Coward, Sasuke grunted. And here I thought that you were getting stronger. Don't you want to fight? Not if I can help it, Naruto said, ignoring Sasuke's coward comment. And if those teams couldn't see the genjutsu, then they wouldn't have been any real threat. The teams that easily made it past the genjutsu are the ones that we need to keep an eye on. Sasuke snorted. Uchiha Sasuke! A loud voice interrupted Team 7's musing. They turned to see a fellow Konoha genin who was wearing the most outlandish outfit they had ever seen, and that was saying something coming from the team that had a boy who would only wear a bright orange jumpsuit and a girl with pink hair and a red battle dress. A green spandex jumpsuit covered the boy head to toe with dimmer orange leg warmers, bandages wrapped around his wrists and forearms along with his Konoha forehead protector around his waist as a belt. I wish to challenge you. I want to see the so-called Rookie of the Year, the Uchiha Genius. Sasuke snorted. Please, he grunted. You wouldn't even be a challenge for someone like me. I am the strongest genin in Konoha, the boy said. Let's see how you measure up, Uchiha Genius. You know my name, what's yours? Sasuke asked. I am Rock Lee, Lee said with a thumbs up. Lee's large eyes cut to Sakura. You must be Haruno Sakura. I promise to protect you with my life. Will you go out with me? Hell no! Sakura cried, causing Lee's head to drop. Don't mind her, Lee, Naruto said. Sakura is the type of girl who goes for the cool-looking guy with the large stick up his ass and treats her like trash. Women are very interesting creatures. Men can spend all their lives trying to understand them but will never gain more than a passing gleam. Sakura and Sasuke blinked at Naruto's put down of both of them. I see, no matter, Lee said. I still wish to test myself against the Rookie of the Year, the Uchiha Genius Uchiha Sasuke. So then, Sasuke, will you accept my challenge? Sasuke, don't do it, Naruto warned. We're going to be late if we don't go now. I'm sure you'll get your chance to fight him during the exams. Don't let your pride get you into a situation that your ass can't cash. Sasuke's head whirled around to glare at Naruto, his Sharingan spinning rapidly. Sasuke-kun, Naruto is right, Sakura said softly. We need to keep going. TCH, fine, Sasuke grunted. He turned back to Lee. You got lucky this time, next time you won't be so. Lee grinned. We shall see, Uchiha Sasuke. Until next time then, he said before vanishing in a blur. Naruto blinked as he didn't see any smoke or leaves that usually mark the use of a shunshin. If Lee hadn't used any materials to mask his jutsu, that meant one of two things. That Lee was advanced enough in the jutsu to not need it, or that wasn't a shunshin. The second option was much more worrisome for Naruto. Sasuke-kun! A grating female voice cried out as Team 7 made their way into room 301. There you are! Back off, Inopig, Sakura growled as a long blonde-haired girl glopped onto Sasuke's back. Naruto had to stifle a snigger at the constipated look on Sasuke's face. Come to think of it, that expression was always on Sasuke's face. So the whole gang is here, Naruto heard Kiba's voice bark out. Naruto turned to see the rest of his graduating class slip out of the crowd and walk over. Hey forehead, where's that baka of a teammate of yours, Naruto? Ino asked once Sasuke had thrown her off his back. Hey there cutie, I'm Yamanaka Ino, what's your name? She asked. Sakura and Sasuke looked at one another, then to Naruto, before bursting out laughing. What are you laughing at, forehead? Ino frowned. The rest of the rookies were stunned to see that Sasuke was laughing, let alone smiling. Ino, that's Naruto, Sakura gasped, clutching her stomach. What? The rookies cried as Naruto lowered his hood to reveal his blonde hair and whiskered face. Naruto! Ino cried as her face bloomed spectacularly. What are you wearing? My clothes, Naruto said with a blank face. You know, if I had known that all I had to do to get your attention was change my clothes, I would have done it years ago. Hey Sasuke, maybe if you want to get rid of your fangirls, you should wear my old jumpsuit. That thing was like a fangirl defense. I couldn't even get a girl to talk to me when I was wearing it. Sasuke's eyes gleamed for a moment. You know you should keep it down, a smooth voice said from behind the rookies. Naruto turned around to see a tall youth with gray hair and large circular glasses. Who are you? Kiba snapped. Kabuto Yakushi, the boy answered. And you are all just rookie genin, you might want to keep a lower profile. Most of these genin have been in the Chunin exams before, so they won't appreciate rookies making them look bad. And yet you are now announcing our statuses to the entire room, Naruto said. Something about this boy was raising his hackles. Only members of Konoha would know that we are rookies, if you hadn't said anything. Ma, Kabuto said, waving off Naruto's accusation. So how many times have you taken the exams? Ino asked. This will be the 7th time, Kabuto said with an embarrassed grin. Wow, you must suck, Kiba laughed. Or the exams are much more difficult than you think, Shino said. So then, Kabuto, if you've taken the exams so many times, you must know some tricks or shortcuts that we could use? Naruto asked. I mean, we're all Konoha shinobi, and Konoha shinobi help each other out. Well, there aren't any shortcuts or things like that I can give you. The exams change every year and each village has their own way of doing the exams, Kabuto said. But I do have my Nin info cards. Nin info cards? Sasuke asked. He too was getting an uneasy feeling coming from the gray-haired youth. Kabuto grinned at the Uchiha heir before pulling out a deck of what looked like playing cards. He pulled one out of the deck and channeled some chakra into it. They're blank unless I channel some of my chakra into them, Kabuto said. Uchiha Sasuke, Genin, graduated top of his class. A member of Team 7 with Naruto Uzumaki, the Dobe, and Sakura Haruno, the top kunoichi, under the tutelage of Kakashi Hatake. Mission stats: 15D rank, 0C rank, 0B rank and 1A rank mission in which he and Team 7 fought and defeated the Demon Brothers as well as Momochi Zabuza, the Kirigakyu no Kijin. Known to have exceptional taijutsu and ninjutsu abilities, including several katan jutsus that his clan was well known for, above average genjutsu, also activated his Uchiha bloodline, the Sharingan, during his mission to Nami no Kuni. Your team went on an A-rank mission, Ino cried. What the hell, forehead? Naruto and Sasuke narrowed their eyes at Kabuto. There should be no way that Kabuto could know all of that just from their ninja profiles. The Hokage had decreed that Team 7's mission to name an A-rank mission but had classified their reports. What about Naruto? Let's hear all about the Dobe, Kiba laughed. Kabuto grinned as he pulled out another card. Naruto Uzumaki, Genin, failed the graduation exam 3 times before passing the special secondary exam. A member of Team 7 was Sasuke Uchiha and Sakura Haruno under Kakashi Hatake. Mission stats: 15D ranks, 0C ranks, 1B rank and 1A rank. Known to have below average taijutsu, non-existent genjutsu and average ninjutsu. There is a special note though, apparently Naruto knows the B rank Kenjutsu Kage Bunshin no Jutsu and its A rank counterpart, the Taju Kage Bunshin. Naruto also has an immense amount of chakra, comparable to high Jonin levels. What? The rookies cried, spinning their heads toward Naruto, who was glaring at Kabuto. There was no way that anyone could have known about Naruto's B rank, which Hiruzen awarded him after helping stop Mizuki the night of the graduation exam. Hiruzen had classified that report as well. In fact, it wasn't even listed on his shinobi registration. Well then, Kabuto, since you were kind enough to tell everyone mine and Sasuke's stats, why don't you tell us yours? I mean, it's only fair, Naruto said sharply, his voice dropping several degrees. Kabuto arched an eyebrow but shrugged. Kabuto Yakushi, Genin, graduated 5 years ago in the middle of my class. I am teammates with Yoroi Akato and Nasumi Tsurugi. Mission stats: 145D ranks, 12C ranks, 1B ranks and 0A ranks. My taijutsu is average, ninjutsu above average and genjutsu below average. Well, there you have it, Kabuto said. Naruto grinned and nodded in thanks. He's lying through his teeth, Naruto thought. He just gave the bare minimum to his stats while give out Sasuke's full stats and mine as well. Going to have to keep an eye on him. And looks like Sasuke has the same idea. Do you have any idea how we should look out for? Like non-Konoha teams? Sasuke asked. Kabuto smiled down at the Uchiha heir. It seems that most of the villages sent their best, Kabuto said. I would definitely keep an eye on the Suna team of Gaara, Temari and Kankuro. They are the Kazekage's children, so you know that they are skilled. Also, the new village of Otogekyu no Sato is participating in their first Chunin exams, so their team should be interesting to pay attention to, though it is a brand new village, so more likely they are weak. Out of the corner of his eye, Naruto spotted 3 genin stiffen at Kabuto's words. The 3 genin all had a musical note etched on their hitayatesh and were wearing similar uniforms with black and gray camouflaged pants and dark flak jackets. Oh, so we're weak, are we? The bandaged genin said, turning to his teammates. Why don't we show these tree huggers the strength of Oto? The other 2 genin grinned wickedly before vanishing in a burst of speed. Naruto noticed the disappearance of the Oto genin and palmed a kunai. Shoving Kabuto to the floor, Naruto brought his kunai up to block the punch from the bandaged Oto genin. The blonde saw the bandages around the boy's mouth twist in what was most likely a smile, and suddenly Naruto felt a massive pain strike his head, causing him to drop his kunai and clutch the side of his head. You shouldn't underestimate the genin of the sound. We'll be the ones becoming chunin in these exams, the boy sneered. You know, for someone trying to become a chunin, attacking a member of the host village's ninja force when you are surrounded by his comrades isn't a very smart thing to do, Sasuke growled as he, Sakura and several of the other rookies surrounded the Oto genin, weapons drawn and ready to pounce. Shikamaru was kneeling behind the wall of genin, his hands in the rat symbol, and the Oto genin couldn't move. All right, you brats, a voice boomed out as an explosion of smoke covered the entire front of the room. Listen up or you'll be thrown out, and that goes for everyone. Everyone take a number and find your seat. A masked chunin came around the room and handed out tiles with numbers written on them. Naruto's tile had the number 68 on it, Sasuke had 24 while Sakura had 107. Naruto sat down at his assigned seat and was stunned to see that Hinata was seated next to him. Hey Hinata, Naruto said, watching as the Hyuga blushed madly. Hello Naruto-kun, she stammered, twiddling her fingers. Good luck. You too, Naruto answered. Quiet you maggots, the proctor roared. I am Marino Ibiki, the first exam proctor and your worst nightmare. Now everyone pay attention because I'm only explaining the rules once. Ibiki went on to explain the rules to the first exam. Naruto hid a grin as the memories of his parents' chunin exam experiences came to the forefront of his mind. It seemed that in the last 20 years, the first exam hadn't changed very much. It was still a written test. Several chunin passed out the sheets of paper for the test. You have 1 hour to complete this test, Ibiki barked. The 10th and final question will be given out when there is only 15 minutes left of the test. And begin. Naruto flipped over the test and quickly scanned each of the questions and grinned. None of these questions could be answered by normal genin. They were easily chunin or jonin level questions. For the next 40 minutes Naruto answered 5 of the 9 questions, giving only the bare minimum for a correct answer. He didn't want to expose his increased intelligence just yet, and also in case he was wrong about the final question he didn't want to fail. All right, pencils down, Ibiki ordered. It's now time for the final questions. The assembled genin sat a little straighter in their seats. However, there is another rule that I forgot to mention at the beginning. You can't do that, Akiri genin yelled, getting to his feet. Silence, Ibiki roared. I'm the master of this exam. I can change the rules anytime I want. If you don't sit down right now, you'll be thrown out along with your team. The Kiri genin glared back at Ibiki but sat down. I thought so. Now the final rule is simple. You all have to decide on whether to take the final question or not. What do you mean? Naruto asked. Of course we want to take the final question. What kind of stupid rule is that? Well, you didn't let me finish, Gaki, Ibiki growled. If you choose to take the question and get it wrong, you fail, your team fails, and you will be barred from taking the chunin exams ever again. Uproar met this announcement. What? You can't do that. People here have taken the exams before, Kiba shouted. That's too bad, they didn't have me as proctor, Ibiki shrugged. So what are all your decisions? You can choose to not take the question, fail, cause your team to fail as well, but you will be able to take the exams next time, or do you risk it? Naruto sat down in his seat, eyes narrowed as he watched several teams struggle with the decision. After 10 minutes, 12 more teams had been eliminated. Naruto looked behind him to see Sakura looking at him beseechingly, almost asking him to give up. Naruto snorted and shook his head, telling her that he wasn't going to give up. Sakura blinked at her blonde teammate. As memories of him crying out that he was going to become Hokage, she knew that Naruto had improved drastically since their return from Nami, but there was no way he could answer any of these questions, let alone what was coming. I'm sorry, Naruto, Sasuke-kun, but I can't let you, she thought as she began to raise her hand. That's enough, Scarhead, Naruto shouted, slamming his hand on the desk, causing Hinata to jump in fright. Enough of your pathetic mind fucks. Take them back to the academy where they belong. We're ninja. Making decisions without correct information is risk that we all take every day. If we're not prepared to risk our lives, then we shouldn't be shinobi. I don't know about the others here, but I sure as hell ain't a coward. Ibiki glared at the blonde Gaki, staring him down, though inwardly he was laughing at the boy's guts. You were right, Hokage-sama. Uzumaki is one tough nut to crack, Ibiki thought. Just 3 sentences was enough to knock all the doubts from everyone else's minds. Looks like that's all we're going to get. He looked at the gathered chunin, and when they nodded back to him, Ibiki's wide face broke into a smile. You pass, he said. What? The majority of the assembled genin cried. What about the 10th question? Sakura asked. The decision to take the 10th question was actually the 10th question, Ibiki said. As the blonde Gaki said, there will be times in your careers that you are asked to make decisions without all the information. Now do you say no and decline the mission? Hell no! There will be times in which you can't decline a mission, and you are thrown into the thick of it. You will have to make decisions that could cost you or your teammates' lives, but you must steel yourselves for that reality. There will be times that you have to make life or death decisions, and you can't back out in the middle of a mission just because you are scared. If you do, then you're a scum and a coward. Suddenly the windows to the classroom shattered as a large bundle of black cloth filled the front of the room, revealing a banner with a very attractive purple-haired young woman standing in front of it. What the hell, Ibiki? There's still 25 teams here, Anko cried. Well, we have some exceptional genin this year, Ibiki said. Well, I'm going to cut this group in half, Anko grinned. Now come along, you cute little genin, you've got 1 hour to make it to training ground 44. If any of you are even a minute late, your team will be eliminated. Ja-ni. Anko disappeared in a puff of smoke and there was a stampede to get out of the room, causing Ibiki and the other proctors to chuckle. Scene break. Welcome to my home away from home, training ground 44, affectionately known as the Forest of Death, Anko grinned widely. Naruto had to admit, the backdrop was quite intimidating with the caged forest behind her. The only thing missing was a flash of lightning and clap of thunder. Now the second exam will be a survival battle free for all. Each team will be given one of these scrolls and you will have to get both scrolls and reach the tower in the middle of the forest within 5 days. If you fail to obtain the other scroll in time, or your team isn't complete when you arrive at the tower, you fail. Now sign these forms, she added, brandishing a bunch of forms. What are these for? Choji asked timidly. Release forms, Anko shrugged. This way I won't be blamed if any of you die in there. And believe me, there will be deaths. Oh, and if all of your team doesn't sign, you automatically fail the exam. Anko smiled widely at the paling of many of the genins' faces. You know, Anko whispered. Fangirls like you are usually the first one to die. Sakura shrieked as she felt blood run down her cheek as Anko had suddenly thrown a kunai that nicked her cheek before appearing behind the pink-haired genin. A long-haired woman wearing the forehead protector of Kusagakure appeared behind Anko, holding her kunai out with her tongue. You know, you shouldn't sneak up on me if you want to keep that tongue of yours attached to the rest of your body, Anko said nonchalantly. My apologies, Proctor-san, the Kusa ninja said. But the sight of blood got mine racing. I would appreciate it if you would step away from my teammate, Naruto growled as he appeared behind both Anko and the Kusa ninja. While we might be allies with Kusa, as well as Proctor-san, you are a Konoha shinobi. I won't let you harm my teammate. A Kage Bunshin had appeared behind the Kusa ninja. The clone and the original both had a kunai out and gently pressing against their necks. Anko grinned brightly. All right there, Gaki, no need to get your panties in a bunch, Anko laughed. She released Sakura and holstered her kunai. Thank you, Naruto, Sakura whispered. No problem, Sakura, you're my teammate, Naruto said. But you should keep your guard up. In this type of exam, everyone is our enemy, even the other rookies. All right, Gakis, now get your asses to the gates so we can get this show on the road, Anko shouted once the release forms had been turned in and the scrolls handed out. Team 7 was given Gate 17 and was waiting for the exam to start. Buzz. Team 7 leapt off into the Forest of Death with nary of sound. The Chunin that had seen them off could only shake his head at the team. About 500 yards from the gate, Team 7 came across a clearing. They huddled together underneath a fallen tree. So what's the plan? Sakura asked. We should set up an ambush near the tower, Sasuke said. If we get there first, we will have the pick of sights and make sure we aren't ambushed ourselves. Naruto wanted to argue with the Uchiha but knew that Sakura would agree with her crush and outvote him. Okay, but first give me the scroll. I have an idea on how to keep it safe and to confuse anyone who tries to find it. What are you talking about? Sasuke asked. Look, we all know that this exam is as much as a protection mission as it is a search and capture one, Naruto explained. But why should we have only one scroll? I can use my Kage Bunshin to pretend to be extra scrolls. That way we can barter them if we run into a team that we don't want to fight. And they can be used to surprise any teams that do take them. Also, I'll seal the scroll into my pouch to keep it safe from falling out too. Sakura looked to her crush. She thought it was a solid idea to ensure that they kept the scroll safe. It still surprised her that it was Naruto who was suggesting the idea. She knew her blonde teammate had drastically improved since the academy, and even more so since their return from the Land of Waves. What do you mean seal the scroll in your pouch? Sasuke asked. I have been dabbling into Fuinjutsu since we got back from the Land of Waves, Naruto said. We all have our specialties, Sasuke, you are the ninjutsu and taijutsu expert on our team. Sakura, you are becoming the genjutsu and maybe the Iryo ninjutsu expert, and I'll be the ninjutsu and fuinjutsu expert. We'll be unstoppable. Sakura and Sasuke had to shake their heads at the enthusiasm pouring off their blonde teammate. All right, Sasuke said, fishing the heaven scroll out of his pouch. We'll trust you with this. I won't let you down, Naruto said. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. In a puff of smoke, 12 clones of Naruto appeared around Team 7. You all know what to do. The clones nodded, and then with another puff of smoke, 12 heaven scrolls were in their places. Naruto picked up the original heaven scroll and sealed it in the storage seal that was sewn in on the inside of his equipment pouch. We'll each take 3 of the clone scrolls. Sakura and Sasuke nodded and picked up their 3 scrolls and placed them somewhere on their persons. All right, let's get moving, Sasuke ordered. Naruto rolled his eyes while Sakura quickly fell into line with the Uchiha heir. Team 7 leapt off into the trees, leaving the clearing behind, and the pair of golden eyes gleaming out of the darkness that had been watching them. The team had traveled only another mile or so deeper into the forest when Sasuke, who was running point, raised a hand. Naruto and Sakura landed next to Sasuke, each of the genin facing outward. Who knew that all that formation training from Kakashi would come in handy? Naruto thought as he kept his eyes peeled for any movement. We're being watched, Sasuke whispered, his eyes gleaming with his Sharingan. Can you tell how many there are? Sakura asked. No, Sasuke grunted. My Sharingan can't distinguish how many chakra signatures there are out there. The forest is teeming with chakra and it is messing with my vision. Then we'll have to do this the old-fashioned way, Naruto chuckled. Tajikage Bunshin. A massive cloud of smoke enveloped Team 7, hiding them from view. Out of the cloud, nearly 50 clones of Naruto burst out in every direction. Kyuso. A garbled voice growled from the trees. Find them. Find who? Naruto's amused voice said from behind the AIM ninja. The ninja whirled around to find Naruto looking down at him from a nearby branch with a smug grin. Hand over your scroll, the AIM ninja demanded. If you don't, you'll be killed and we'll take the scroll from your cooling corpse. Naruto raised an eyebrow at the demand. You and what army? The blonde asked. This army, the AIM ninja shouted as dozens of figures slowly rose from the tree and ground around Naruto. Please, I know that those are all genjutsu clones, Naruto said, looking down at the amassed AIM shinobi. Don't underestimate us, the AIM ninja shouted. Get him. The crowd of AIM ninja charged Naruto, who just watched with a disinterested eye. He palmed 2 shuriken and tossed it at the charging ninja. Shuriken Kage Bunshin. The 2 shuriken exploded into 20. The rain of metal sliced through most of the charging AIM ninja, and as Naruto knew, the struck clones shimmered out of sight. Naruto leapt off the branch as an AIM ninja came surging out of the branch that he had been standing on, a kunai gripped in his hand. You'll have to try better than that if you want my scroll, Naruto taunted as he landed on a branch roughly 50 meters away. Come on, Sasuke, haven't you found these guys yet? Naruto thought in his head. He ducked under a thrown kunai, and then deflected another. That's enough. Sasuke's voice barked out, causing the AIM ninja to freeze. Naruto grinned as he looked up to see Sasuke and Sakura standing across from him, with the AIM ninja's teammates bound and gagged at their feet. Did they have the scroll we needed? Naruto asked. We got it, Naruto, Sakura called out. Naruto nodded and then turned his attention back to the AIM ninja that had attacked him. Look, you've lost, we have your scroll and your teammates are beaten, the blonde said. Just give up and leave. We don't want to hurt you, but if you don't stand down, you 3 won't be leaving this forest, breathing that is. The AIM ninja growled up at Naruto but knew that the situation was hopeless and holstered his kunai. Fine, just let us go, the boy ground out. Naruto nodded and looked over at Sasuke and Sakura. The other 2 nodded and Team 7 leapt off into the forest, leaving the AIM team alone and without a scroll. So now that we have our scroll, shouldn't we just head straight to the tower? Naruto suggested. No, Sasuke said. If we just head straight to the tower, we run the risk of running into several teams that have set up ambushes. This has turned into a stealth behind enemy lines mission, so we've got to take it slow. Naruto and Sakura nodded. Suddenly the sound of rushing wind snapped Naruto's head around. Look out! He shouted as an insanely powerful gust of wind tore through the treetops. The 3 genin tried to stick to the branch with their chakra, but the wind was too strong and the team was violently separated. With Naruto. Damn, what the hell was that? Naruto groaned as he sat up from the ground. Hiss. Naruto looked up to see a massive snake looking down at him from its perch in the branches, its eyes gleaming with hunger. Naruto watched in morbid fascination as the snake stuck out its tongue and seemingly gave a satisfied hiss. "Oh, like hell am I being some overgrown worm's lunch," Naruto growled as he leapt to his feet and drew a kunai. The snake gave another hiss before launching itself from its perch and sped toward Naruto. The blonde leapt into the air to avoid the snake's bite. He flung the kunai at the snake, but it merely bounced off the snake's scales. Naruto quickly leapt into the trees to gain height on the snake. With a single hand sign, a clone appeared at Naruto's side. The original Naruto quickly drew 10 shuriken and flung them down at the snake. "Shuriken Kage Bunshin," Naruto called out. The 10 shuriken multiplied into nearly 100. The clone Naruto moved behind the original and quickly barked out, "Futon, de Tapa." The Futon Jutsu increased the shuriken's speed drastically, making them appear to be nothing more than blurs. The snake hissed in pain as the shuriken bit deep into its scales. It fell to the forest floor and thrashed around for a moment before exploding in a cloud of smoke. Coughing, Naruto landed on a nearby branch. "What the hell was that?" Naruto said. "That should have killed that snake. Why did it explode into smoke?" "Oh, Kyuso, that was a summoning. The only snake summoners are Kyuso, Sakura, Sasuke." Naruto channeled as much chakra into his legs and pushed off the branch, rocketing away from the tree, leaving a large indentation in the bark. With Sakura and Sasuke. "Who the hell are you?" Sasuke cried as he flung several kunai and shuriken at a mass of approaching snakes that the Kusa ninja had summoned. The kunai and shuriken struck the snakes right behind the heads, killing them instantly. "Most impressive," the Kusa ninja laughed. "Though it seems that you are not as advanced as your brother Sasuke-kun." Sasuke froze. "What do you know of Itachi?" he shouted. "I know quite a bit about Itachi-kun," the ninja grinned. "How he gained a fully matured Sharingan by the time he was 9, a Jonin at the age of 12 and an Anbu at 13. It seems that his prized younger brother isn't as talented as Itachi made him out to be." A red veil fell over Sasuke's eyes as he activated his own Sharingan and charged toward the Kusa ninja. "Sasuke-kun, no!" Sakura cried as Sasuke flashed past her. The Kusa ninja grinned widely as she ducked under Sasuke's blow, bending back nearly 90 degrees. The ninja struck upward and punched Sasuke hard in the stomach, knocking the wind out of Sasuke's stomach, before tossing him aside. "Pathetic," the ninja sneered. "I thought that it was your dream to kill Itachi and avenge your clan. With that level of power, you won't even be able to touch Itachi. But I can help you gain the power you so desire and deserve." "What the hell are you talking about?" Sasuke gasped as he tried to regain his breath. "Yes, Orochimaru, tell us," Naruto's furious voice growled down from the branches above the group. Sakura and Sasuke looked up in relief to see their teammate alive. "What the hell are you doing here, traitor?" "Oh, so you know who I am, Naruto-kun," Orochimaru chuckled, though the sound sent shivers up and down the spines of the genin. "As for why I am here to test Sasuke-kun and if he proves worthy, to give an offer." "An offer of what?" Sasuke asked. "Of the only thing that matters, power," Orochimaru hissed, his golden eyes gleaming. "Sasuke, whatever this bastard is offering isn't worth it," Naruto shouted. "Any promised power from him will come with a price. Borrowed power isn't true power is strength that you achieve yourself through hard work, blood, sweat, and tears." "That's quite the speech, Naruto-kun, especially coming from Konoha's own secret weapon, a little Jinchuriki?" Orochimaru chided. "Jinchuriki?" Sakura and Sasuke asked, confused by the term that Orochimaru used. "I wasn't gifted with that power, it's a curse," Naruto snarled, his blue eyes icy. "I refuse to use it, it's dirty and tainted, and I can't control it. It's also not my own power. I don't want to grow dependent on it. I want to grow strong using my own strength." "Well then let us see how strong you are without your little gift," Orochimaru chuckled. He vanished from the genin's sight. Something screamed in Naruto's head for him to duck, and he did, just dodging a kunai that would have shaved off several inches of Naruto's hair as well as most of his head. Bracing himself with 2 hands on the branch, Naruto spun like a top, his legs whipping through the air. Orochimaru grinned and leaned backward, avoiding Naruto's spin kick. Naruto leapt away from the traitorous Sannin, landing next to Sasuke and Sakura. "We need to get the hell out of here," Naruto said, not taking his eyes off the grinning Sannin. "There's no way we can take on Orochimaru. Hell, not even Kakashi-sensei could take this guy on." "Oh come now, Naruto," running away, Orochimaru chided. "What would Minato-kun and Kushina-chan think of you?" "I think they would be proud of me for not having suicide tendencies by trying to fight a Sannin," Naruto retorted. "Get ready to run," the blonde whispered to his teammates. He channeled a large amount of chakra and shouted out, "Tajikage Bunshin." When the smoke finally cleared, the clearing was filled with glaring blondes. Sakura and Sasuke were stunned at the amount of clones that Naruto had created. Each clone drew a kunai or shuriken and threw them at the grinning Sannin. Shuriken Kage Bunshin. Kunai Kage Bunshin. The kunai and shuriken instantly multiplied into thousands, and the rain of steel blocked out the streams of sunlight that was filtering through the canopy of the forest. Run! Naruto shouted. He grabbed Sakura and Sasuke's hands and dragged them toward the middle of the forest. Did you really think that little trick would be enough to stop me, Naruto-kun? Orochimaru's chuckling voice echoed all around Team 7. No, but I was hoping that it would buy us some more time, Naruto growled. Clever Naruto-kun, but I had drowned in blood well before your parents were even born, Orochimaru said. So you are going to have to do better than that to get away from me. Naruto! Sasuke shouted out as his Sharingan caught sight of something fast approaching from their side. Naruto barely had time to shove Sakura and Sasuke away before he was grabbed by the neck in a steel grip. Naruto's eyes met Orochimaru's golden gaze. Naruto! Sakura's voice called out as Naruto's vision began to gray as Orochimaru tightened his grip. Suddenly Naruto was encased in a blue light. Orochimaru's eyes widened as he released Naruto. Boom! A massive explosion rocked the forest. Very clever, Naruto-kun, Orochimaru grinned widely. My eyes and ears in the village failed to mention that you knew the Bunshin Daibakuha. They shall be punished, but first I must give Sasuke-kun my gift. I think we managed to get some distance between us and Orochimaru, Naruto said, chancing a glance over his shoulder. But we have to keep moving. Naruto, what was that word Orochimaru called you? Jinchuriki, what was he talking about? Sakura asked. Not no Sakura, I'll tell you when we're safe and not being chased by a power-crazed maniac, Naruto said. That hurts, Naruto-kun, calling me names, the sibilant voice of Orochimaru hissed. Team 7 whirled around to see Orochimaru watching them much like a predator stalking its prey. The Sannin surged forward and sent Naruto flying with a bone-crushing uppercut. Naruto! Sakura and Sasuke cried out, but before they could move, Orochimaru's neck extended and his mouth latched onto Sasuke's own neck. The Uchiha screamed in pain as Orochimaru released him. Quickly a seal appeared on Sasuke's neck. What did you do to Sasuke-kun? Sakura screamed, catching the unconscious Uchiha before he could fall to the ground. I gave him a gift, Orochimaru said. If he survives, Sasuke-kun will seek me out for the power he desires. But now, I think I shall tie up loose ends. Sakura trembled under the Sannin's dissecting gaze. Slowly, as if tauntingly, Orochimaru drew a kunai and lazily tossed the kunai at the pink-haired genin. Sakura couldn't move as the kunai sped toward her, she could only close her eyes and wait. If you touch my teammates, I'll rip you to shreds. Naruto's voice roared as he appeared in front of Sakura, deflecting the kunai with one of his own. Orochimaru quirked an eyebrow at Naruto's appearance. Naruto's normally blue eyes were now blood-red and slit like a cat's, his whisker marks were darker, giving him a more feral appearance, and his blonde hair was shaggier and had streaks of red in it. So the little Jinchuriki can use his power? Orochimaru chuckled. It's time to skin a snake, Naruto snarled. He launched himself off the branch, barely a red blur to Sakura's eyes. Orochimaru casually leaned out of the way of Naruto's slash. He leapt back to avoid Naruto's wild follow-up attack. Futon de Tapa! Naruto roared, spitting out a massive ball of wind. Orochimaru's eyes gleamed as he sank into the ground to avoid the attack. Naruto's head snapped back and forth in an effort to find the snake Sannin. The sound of creaking wood was Naruto's only warning as Orochimaru rose out of the ground behind the blonde. Naruto spun around but was too late as Orochimaru's tongue shot out of his mouth and ensnared Naruto. The blonde struggled against the slimy appendage, but it was in vain as the Sannin's tongue was too strong. Orochimaru raised his right hand, his fingers glowing blue. Gojyo Fuin! Naruto's mouth opened in a silent scream as lightning surged through his chakra network, lighting it up like a firework before it crashed. Naruto! What did you do to him? Sakura screamed. I just made sure that he wouldn't be interrupting us anymore, Orochimaru said. Orochimaru! A powerful voice boomed out over the clearing. Sakura and the Sannin looked up, Sakura's face lit up in joy and relief as the newcomers were the Hokage and 2 squads of ANBU. Hello, Sensei, Orochimaru said with a smile, as if the appearance of the Hokage and ANBU didn't faze him. It seems that I have overstayed my welcome. Until we met again, Sensei. Orochimaru's laughter sent shivers down everyone's spines as the snake Sannin sank into the ground and vanished from sight. Nico, Take your squad and make sure that my wayward student has truly left, Hiruzen ordered. Hi Hokage-sama, the purple-haired ANBU responded. Let's go team. 5 other ANBU members leapt off after their captain leaving the Hokage, 3 ANBU members and Sakura as the only conscious members of Konoha's forces in the clearing. Tenzo, please escort Sakura-chan, Naruto-kun and Sasuke-kun to the tower. I believe that they have passed this part of the exam, Hiruzen said. A bird-faced ANBU member appeared beside Team 7, conjured 2 clones, and carried them off. The Sandaime Hokage turned back to face the direction that his wayward student had vanished. What are you planning, Orochimaru? Just how far have you fallen, my old student? Hiruzen thought before he turned back toward the tower. Ugh, Naruto groaned as he slowly opened his eyes. Great, another hospital room, they all look the same, the blonde muttered as he blinked several times to regain focus in his eyes. I see you are awake, Naruto-kun, a familiar voice chuckled from Naruto's bedside. The blonde turned to see Hiruzen sitting next to his bed. Gigi! Naruto cried as he sat up in bed. Kakashi-sensei! He added, noticing his sensei leaning up against the door. Yo, the silver-haired man said from the corner, raising a hand in greeting. What happened? How did I get here? Naruto asked. It is a long story, Naruto, Hiruzen said, pulling out his pipe and lighting it. It's not like I'm going anywhere, Naruto pointed out. Hiruzen chuckled as he blew out some smoke as he began the tale. Naruto listened attentively as Hiruzen told the blonde what had happened in the forest. So I got my ass handed to me, Naruto said when the Hokage had finished his tale. That's quite a frank assessment, Naruto-kun, but not untrue, Hiruzen said. However, take note that you were facing off against the Sannin. You did very well for a rookie genin less than 6 months out of the academy. Not many people, even jonin, can stand up to Orochimaru. What about Sasuke and Sakura-chan? Naruto asked. Sasuke-kun is recovering in another room, Hiruzen said. We had to wait until he awoke to deal with what Orochimaru did to him, but he will be okay. And Sakura-chan went to get something to eat, I believe, just before you woke up. So what happens now? You rest, Naruto-kun, Hiruzen said. The exam concludes in 2 days, you have been asleep for 2 days, and when the exam concludes you will be brought to the main hall. The door opened and Naruto turned to see a head of pink hair enter the room. Sakura-chan! Naruto cried. Naruto! Sakura responded. She quickly put down the tray she had been carrying on the bedside table and rushed over to Naruto's side. She threw herself at the blonde and embraced him, causing Naruto to go beet red. You idiot! The pink-haired genin shouted, bashing her fist into Naruto's head. Oh! What was that for, Sakura-chan? Naruto asked. That was for thinking you could take on a Sannin by yourself, Sakura chided. And for making me worry, she added in a whisper. What? After Orochimaru hit you that second time, you just went limp, Sakura said. Sasuke-kun was hurt too, and then you went and got yourself hurt too. You left me alone. Sakura's eyes closed as she tried to stem the tears that were beginning to form at the corners of her eyes. I'm sorry, Sakura-chan, I didn't mean to make you worry, Naruto said as he put his arms around Sakura. I promise that I will never leave you again, okay? Don't make promises you can't keep, idiot, Sakura muttered into Naruto's chest. You know me, Sakura-chan, I never go back on my word, Naruto chuckled. Now do you think you can get off me? I think my legs are falling asleep. Sakura's eyes shot open as she realized where she was. Baka! She screamed, slamming her fist into the back of Naruto's head once more while her face matched her hair in color. Hiruzen and Kakashi both chuckled at the sight. What's going on in here? Another familiar voice asked from the doorway. The room turned to see that Sasuke was standing in the doorway, leaning heavily on a crutch. Sasuke-kun! Sakura cried as she raced around the bed and threw herself at the Uchiha heir. Sasuke barely managed to stay upright as his teammates slammed into him. How you feeling, dope? Sasuke asked, looking at his blonde teammate over his female teammate's head. I feel like I've been kicked in the head by a horse then run over, Naruto responded. How about you? Same, Sasuke said. You know it's later now, right? Naruto blinked but then stiffened as the memory of Orochimaru reveling his Jinchuriki status flooded his mind. Yeah, Naruto, why did that Orochimaru call you a Jinchuriki or whatever? Sakura spoke up. Hiruzen and Kakashi quickly looked to Naruto, whose face was beginning to sweat. The blonde looked over at the aged Kage and his sensei. He could read their expressions and eyes. It is your decision, Naruto, both men thought. Naruto turned back to his teammates and took a deep breath. I can't tell you, at least not yet, Naruto said slowly. It's a village secret, and while I trust you both, this will definitely change how you see me and the village. Just give me some time, okay? Sakura looked like she wanted to argue, but a hand on the shoulder from Sasuke made the kunoichi keep her mouth shut. Hiruzen and Kakashi released the breath that they didn't realize that they had been holding. All right, Naruto, but I will hold you to that promise, Sasuke said, his onyx eyes boring into Naruto's blue eyes. Naruto nodded. Very well then, I believe that I should take my leave, Hiruzen said. I must stress to the three of you, not to mention the appearance of Orochimaru to anyone. We do not want panic spreading throughout the village, do you understand? The Hokage asked, though the tone of his voice meant it was an order, not a question. Hi Hokage-sama, the three genin chorused. The Hokage gave the three children a soft smile before leaving the room. Kakashi pushed off from the wall and looked each of his genin in the eye. Well done all three of you, I am very proud of how you have handled yourself, he said. But keep on your guard, the road only gets more difficult from here. Later. Scene break. Uzumaki-san, your presence is requested in the main hall, an ANBU member said after knocking on the door to Naruto's door. The preliminaries are about to begin. Hi, thank you ANBU-san, Naruto said, pulling on his hooded jacket. Naruto walked out of his room, hands deep in his pants pockets, heading toward the main hall thinking about what the ANBU operative said. Preliminaries, Naruto thought. Looks like too many teams made it through the forest? Lucky that we made it here so quickly. I would have hated to have to fight right after finishing the exam. As Naruto entered the main hall, he spotted Sakura and Sasuke standing over to the side. The rest of the Rookie 9 were also present, along with a team from Suna, an older team from Konoha. Hey Sakura, Sasuke, Naruto called as he made his way over to his teammates. Hi Naruto, Sakura said brightly. Sasuke just nodded curtly. Man, are we lucky that we got here so quickly, Naruto said. I would have hated to fight right after finishing the exam. What are you taking about, Dobe? Kiba's grating voice asked from behind Team 7. Naruto huffed at the sound of the Inazaka air. Well, we got here at the end of the third day, so we've been able to rest, Naruto said. What? Kiba cried. How the hell did you get here so fast? We just barely got here in time. We got lucky, Naruto said quickly. We found a weak team from AIM and once we took their scroll, headed straight here avoiding any other teams. Man, you guys did get lucky, Kiba grumbled. Sakura and Sasuke looked over at their teammate and nodded, glad that he was able to seamlessly lie to their comrades about how they reached the tower. A large puff of smoke at the head of the room brought the genin's attention to the arrival of the Hokage and the remaining team senseis along with Anko, the proctor. Congratulations to all you who have passed the second exam, Hiruzen said. Now unfortunately there are still too many competitors to proceed directly to the third exam, so we will be having a series of preliminary matches to whittle down the competitors. What? Kiba cried. You can't be serious, we just got here and now we have to fight. That's your own fault, Genin, Anko snapped. You should have gotten here faster. Thank you, Anko-chan, Hiruzen said. Now, the board behind me will reveal two names and they will fight, the winner advancing on the third exam. Now many of you are probably wondering why we would be having preliminaries. Well, to be blunt, the Chunin exams are a substitute for war between the 5 great nations. War? Ino asked timidly. Yes, Hiruzen nodded. The Chunin exams were set up to create an environment where each village can show of their promising shinobi without all-out war. You're showing us off? Shikamaru asked. Why? Each village competes for missions and clients, Hiruzen said with a smile. And the Chunin exams allow us to foster healthy competition between the villages as well as show off our village's strength. A ninja appeared before the Hokage, a sword strapped to his back and his forehead protector worn as a bandana. Hokage-sama, perhaps it would be best for me to continue, the ninja asked. Very well, Haikuen, Hiruzen said with a sigh. My name is Hate Gecko, your referee and proctor for the preliminaries of the second exam, the sickly Jonin said. If you would all make your way up to the viewing platforms, we may begin. The genin made their way up to the platforms where they met with their senseis. Hey Kakashi-sensei, why didn't you tell us about this? Sakura asked. Well, I couldn't, Kakashi said. Senseis aren't supposed to tell their teams anything about the exams. And besides, if you are promoted to Chunin, you won't be my students any longer, and will be on your own most of the time. You have to learn how to survive on your own. Oh, Sakura said. But I am very proud of each of you for making it this far, Kakashi added with an eye smile. Not many rookies make it past the first exam, so to get here is a very good accomplishment. Especially after what you three had to deal with in the forest. The 3 genin of Team 7 shivered at the mention of their fight against Orochimaru. The ringing of a bell brought Team 7 out of their flashback and they turned back to the front of the room where a large electronic screen had descended from the ceiling. Shino Aburame vs. Yoroi Akado. Interesting, so Shino's up first, Naruto said as he watched the hooded Aburame heir make his way down to the lower level where his opponent was waiting. Let's see how much stronger he's gotten since the academy. Are both participants ready? Hate asked as Shino and Yoroi faced off against each other. Yes, Yoroi said with a smug undertone. I wanted to face the Uchiha, but I guess you'll do. Proctor-san, I am ready to begin, Shino said, his tone as flat as always. Then begin. Yoroi surged forward. Don't worry, I'll end this quickly, the older genin laughed as his hands glowed blue. Shino only slid out of the older boy's path and raised his arms. You seem to focus on close-range combat, Shino commented. A weird buzzing filled the arena as twin black clouds spilled from Shino's sleeves. Unfortunately for you, I am your worst matchup. Yoroi leapt back as the clouds seemed to home in on him. My allies tell me that you have a particularly nasty ability to drain a person's chakra and combine with your own, Shino said. However, it seems that you need to touch your opponent to use that ability. I am not hindered by that disadvantage. Hijitsu, Mushidama. The 2 clouds sped toward Yoroi. The older genin leapt away to avoid the clouds, but they followed him anywhere he went. It is in your best interest to forfeit, Shino said. My allies will follow you to the ends of the earth, you will not escape them. And when they catch you, they will drain you of chakra. Like hell, I'm losing to a green brat like you, Yoroi shouted. Suetun, Teppadama. A medium-sized water bullet spat from Yoroi's mouth and sped toward Shino. The Aburame heir easily leapt aside and continued controlling his allies after Yoroi. The masked genin growled as his attack missed and decided that dodging wasn't going to be enough to win this fight. He leapt over one of the black clouds and charged Shino. Shino tried to leap away but wasn't quick enough. I've got you now, I'll drain all your chakra until you can't move, Yoroi crowed. Unlikely, came Shino's voice from behind the older genin. What? Yoroi shouted as Shino dissolved into a black cloud. Mushi Bunshin no Jutsu, Shino said. Hijitsu, Mushidama. The black cloud quickly engulfed Yoroi, and much to the disgust of the spectators, for the next few minutes the only thing they could hear was scuttling of bugs and Yoroi's screams. Then the bugs quickly returned to Shino and Yoroi's body fell to the ground. Proctor, my opponent is no longer able to continue, Shino said. Hate gave Yoroi a look over before nodding. Winner Shino Aburame, he announced. All right, Shino, Kiba shouted, with Akamaru barking alongside his partner. Well done, Shino-kun, Hinata whispered. Kurenai nodded and tried and failed to hide her smug smile. What was that? Sakura asked. I mean, Shino didn't even touch that Yoroi guy. The Aburame clan uses bugs, much like the Inazaka clan uses nindogs, as their allies in battle, Kakashi said. As an infant, the members of that clan are injected with their bugs. The bugs feed on the host chakra and in return, the clan members are able to wield them in battle. You mean that Shino has bugs inside him? Sakura asked, her face looking slightly repulsed. Yep, but don't think poorly of the Aburame, Kakashi chided. They are great allies to have and fierce warriors. The genin's attention was drawn back to the arena floor as the electronic board beeped, signaling that a new matchup had been decided. Kiba Inazaka vs. Choji Akimichi. All right, we're up, Akamaru. Kiba cried as he leapt over the railing and landed lightly on the arena alongside his partner. Akamaru barked happily as he landed next to Kiba. Go on, Choji, you can beat that mutt's ass, Ino shouted. Kiba growled up at the blonde Kunoichi but watched as Choji made his way down to the arena floor. Hey Choji, even though we're buddies, I'm not going to hold back against you, Kiba said as Choji stood across from him. I know, Kiba, and you won't win easily, Choji said with a smile. Kiba nodded with a feral grin of his own. Are you two ready? Hade asked. The 2 clan heirs nodded and settled into their stances. Then begin. Shikyaku no Jutsu, Kiba shouted as his hands flipped through several hand signs. Chakra shrouded Kiba as the feral ninja dropped to all fours. His fingers became clawed and his eyes grew wild. Rushing forward at impressive speed, Kiba leapt toward Choji and slashed his clawed hands at the Akimichi heir. Choji stumbled backward to avoid Kiba's attack, though his shirt and scarf was torn to near shreds. Kiba kept after Choji, not allowing the hefty boy any space to counterattack. The game of cat and mouse continued for several minutes as Choji struggled to stay ahead of Kiba's attacks. Choji managed to leap backward as Kiba ended his jutsu, panting. Baika no jutsu! Choji shouted. His body grew to 3 times its usual size. Nikuden Sensha! Kiba growled as he leapt away from Choji's attack. The spinning ball of Choji turned nearly on a dime to follow Kiba. Kiba backed up until he was up against the wall, and watched as Choji barreled down toward him. He leapt up onto the wall, and just before Choji's attack connected, Kiba leapt off the wall. The wall shuddered as Choji slammed into it. He quickly stopped spinning and looked around in a daze. Akamaru! Kiba shouted, flicking a pill at the small white dog. Akamaru swallowed the pill and growled deeply as his fur turned a deep red. In a puff of smoke later, a second Kiba appeared in Akamaru's place. Gutsuga! Kiba shouted. The twin Kibas leapt into air and spun rapidly like a top. Choji looked up to see Kiba and Akamaru barreling down toward him. Kiba and Akamaru's attack slammed into the hefty boy with a mighty crash. Choji! Ino cried as smoke blocked the other genin's view of the battle. Shikamaru was gripping the railing so tight that his knuckles had turned white. When the smoke cleared, it showed Kiba and Akamaru standing over a bleeding and battered Choji along with 2 large craters in the wall. Winner Inazaka Kiba, Hate announced. All right. Kiba cried as he jumped around. Then he looked at Choji and said, Sorry, buddy. Well done, Kiba, Shino said as his teammate reached the viewing platform. Thanks, Shino, Kiba answered. Congratulations, Kiba-kun, Hinata told her teammate, her fingers pointing together. Kiba nodded. The arena floor was quickly cleared as a medical team carried the unconscious Choji away to the infirmary. It seems that Kurenai has taught her students well, Kakashi commented. Asuma grunted. Choji had a bad matchup against Kiba, the bearded man said. Choji is probably the most physically strong of the graduates, but Kiba is much faster than Choji, and with his clan's taijutsu style, Choji couldn't keep up with Kiba. Kakashi nodded as he concurred with his comrade's assessment. The board beeped once more, signaling the announcement of a new fight. Shikamaru Nara vs. Kintsuchi. Looks like you're up, Shikamaru, Naruto said as he looked up at the board. Troublesome, Shikamaru muttered. I have to fight a girl. What did you say? Ino growled. Shikamaru sighed and slowly made his way down to the arena floor. His opponent, Kin, was already waiting for him. Naruto instantly recognized the girl as one of the Oto ninja that had attacked Kabuto before the first exam. So this is the first chance we get to see an Oto ninja. I wonder how strong they are, Naruto mused, as Hate got ready to begin the fight. Begin! Hate shouted. Kin instantly drew several saban from her holster and threw them at Shikamaru. The Nara easily dodged the saban. Is that it? Shikamaru asked. If it is, then this will be even more troublesome than I thought. Don't take me lightly, Kin shouted. Kage saban! She cried, flinging 2 handfuls of saban at Shikamaru. The Nara leapt backward as the saban sped through the space that he had just vacated. Shikamaru's eyes narrowed when he saw the smug grin on Kin's face. The dark-haired girl's hands twitched, causing a ringing noise to vibrate through the arena. Shikamaru's head instinctively turned toward the noise. Gotcha! Kin crowed as more saban appeared in her hands, and in a blur, she sent them toward Shikamaru. Shikamaru drew a kunai and blocked several of the saban. Ugh! Shikamaru grunted as 2 saban lodged themselves in his arm. Shikamaru! Ino cried out. I should have realized that as a ninja of the sound, you would have some sound-based ability, Shikamaru said as he yanked the 2 saban from his arm and tossed them aside. You throw those saban, some with bells attached, some without. Your opponent hears the ones with the bells on them and move to dodge them, but they won't notice the silent saban that are also being thrown. Very clever, Kin growled. But don't think you've beaten me just because you think you've figured out my ability. No, I've beaten you because you weren't minding your surroundings, Shikamaru said. Cage main non-jutsu success. What the? Kin cried as she felt her body freeze. But your shadow is nowhere near. Her head tilted down and saw that a black shape stretching from her body to Shikamaru's own. How? I can make my shadow as large or small as I want, Shikamaru said. And even though those strings are extremely thin, they still cast a shadow. It's over. Shikamaru slowly drew a shuriken from his pouch. Kin's body mirrored Shikamaru, but her pouch was on the other leg. With a flick of his wrist, Shikamaru sent his shuriken at Kin, whose arm mirrored Shikamaru's actions but without actually throwing the projectile. Kin's eyes widened in fear as the whirling shuriken honed in on her neck. Clang! Winner Shikamaru Nara, Hate announced, the shuriken that Shikamaru thrown was deflected by a kunai thrown by the jonin. Shikamaru released Kin and slowly made his way back to the viewing platform with his cheering teammate. Kin also made her way up to her teammates, but Naruto could see that she was trembling and trying to avoid the eyes of her sensei. The board rotated once more and beeped to announce the next match. The name shown brought many different reactions from the competitors. Hyuga Hinata vs. Rock Lee. Yash! Lee shouted as he leapt down from the viewing platform. Naruto winced as he saw Hinata's face. She was trembling as she made her way down to the arena floor. Hinata-san, let us showcase our flames of youth and have a very youthful fight, Lee cried, giving Hinata a nice guy pose. Hinata flinched as she looked up at the other Hyuga in the room, who was looking down at Hinata with a smug and superior grin, though Naruto could see rage burning in the Hyuga's white eyes. Don't worry, Hinata, just do your best, Naruto cried. You never will know how strong you are unless you try. Hinata blushed brightly as Naruto's words of encouragement, and turned to face her opponent, who was bouncing up and down on his heels in obvious excitement. Lee-san, I hope that we have a good match as well and wish you luck, Hinata stammered out before falling into her juken stance. Lee blinked in confusion before his face grew into an even wider smile. Yash, Hinata-san, I wish you luck as well in our most youthful match, Lee cried. Begin! Hate cried, and instantly Lee shot forward. Hinata fell backward to avoid Lee's attack. Come on, Hinata, you can do this, Kiba encouraged. She won't win, Naruto sighed. What are you talking about, Naruto? Kiba snapped, his eyes snarling at the blonde. Hinata isn't strong enough to beat Lee. Hell, I don't know if any one of us can beat him when he goes all out, Naruto said. Also, Hinata is afraid of herself. She doesn't want to fight people because she fears hurting them, but what she's doing is even worse. Holding back against an opponent that isn't is just making things worse. Hinata heard her crush's words and crumpled mentally. Naruto-kun doesn't think I'm strong, she whimpered, narrowly dodging Lee's spin kick. If Hinata doesn't start fighting back, she'll never become strong enough to make sure that her friends can defend themselves, Naruto continued. If Hinata had truly tried in the academy, she would have easily been the best taijutsu user in our graduating class. But she held back because she was afraid of hurting us, but that just hurts us in the long run. We would overestimate our strength and get into fights that we have no chance of winning. We would think that we could beat a Hyuga. And then when we go up against a Hyuga that's not Hinata, we would get our ass kicked. If Hinata really cares for us, she will stop holding back and fight to her fullest. Please, Uzumaki, Hinata-sama will never become strong, the other Hyuga in the competition, Niji, sneered. She is just a pampered princess of the main branch. Hinata flinched at her cousin's word, at exactly the wrong time as Lee landed a heavy kick to her side, sending the Hyuga air flying across the arena floor. Hey Niji, Hinata is strong, Naruto growled. She cares more for her friends and loved ones than anyone here. She cares about them so much that she is hurting herself to make sure that she doesn't hurt us during a spar. And Niji, even though she's a main branch member, has you ever seen her use that seal? Niji's head snapped around to glare at Naruto. Yes, Niji, I know about that seal you hide, and I think it's disgusting that the Hyuga clan would divide their family in such a way, but Hinata hates that seal as much as you do, Naruto said, staring right at the Hyuga. Come on, Hinata, show us your strength. Don't hold back. We're all watching you. Hinata dimly heard Naruto's shout and struggled to her feet. She looked up at the balcony and saw her classmates looking down at her with encouraging looks, including Naruto. Naruto-kun is right. I have been afraid of hurting my friends, but that is only hurting them down the line, she realized. I will show you, Naruto-kun. I will show everyone my strength. Her eyes hardened as she settled into her juken stance. I apologize, Lee-san, Hinata said. I have not been truly honest with you. Naruto-kun is right. I haven't been fighting you at my best because I was afraid. I was afraid of hurting my friends, but by holding back I am hurting them. Naruto gave a small smile at Hinata's words. She's growing, Naruto thought. Yash! Let our flames of youth burn brightly, Lee cried as he settled into his own Goken stance. After an instant, Lee dashed forward, lashing out with a strong right cross. Hinata brought her right hand up to knock Lee's punch aside, but while she saw the attack coming, her body's reactions weren't fast enough to completely avoid the attack. It clipped her side, causing Hinata to wince in pain. Lee kept coming, lashing out with lightning-quick strikes. Slowly but surely Hinata's defense was battered down, and her clothes were dirted and torn, and she was breathing uneasily, trying not to move much due to her injuries. You have fought valiantly, Hinata-chan, but it has come time to end this, Lee announced. The black-haired boy vanished in a burst of speed and then reappeared behind Hinata. The Hyuga heir tried to turn but was too slow as Lee landed a crushing kick to Hinata's side that sent her crashing into the wall. Hinata slumped to the floor, limp and unconscious. Winner Rock Lee, Hate announced. A medical crew rushed into the arena and placed Hinata on a stretcher. Kurenai leapt down to follow her student to the infirmary. Lee raced up the stairs to where his team was waiting. Naruto, what the hell, man? Kiba shouted. Why did you say that Hinata couldn't beat that Lee kid? You know. Kiba, I know that she has a crush on me, Naruto said, much to shock of the other rookies. But I don't know her. Can you think of a time that Hinata ever talked to me, and not just stammered out a greeting? Hinata's a nice girl with an enormous heart, but she needs to realize that being a shinobi, one must harden their heart if one wishes to succeed in this line of work. She will grow stronger now that she realizes that she can't hold back in fear of hurting someone. And I look forward to seeing how strong she'll become. The rookies, aside from Sasuke and Sakura, were stunned at how much faith Naruto had in Hinata and the eloquent words that he used. What happened to you, Naruto? Shikamaru asked, watching the blonde with a calculating gaze. You've changed drastically since the academy. I've grown up, Shikamaru, Naruto responded. I had my eyes open to the real world during my team's mission to the wave. I realized that all I was doing was playing ninja. I was treating this as a game. And if I kept going down that path, I would get myself and my comrades killed, and I refused to let someone get hurt because I was too weak or too naive to help them. Shikamaru nodded at Naruto's words, his mind racing. Is that what I've been doing? He asked himself. Being a ninja is troublesome, but what would happen if I'm not strong enough to save Choji or Ino while on a mission? Could I live with myself if they died because I wasn't strong enough? The board beeped again, drawing everyone's attention to it to see who would be fighting in the next match. Temari vs. Niji Hyuga. So we get to see one of the Kazekage's children, Kakashi commented. And she's going up against Niji, interesting. It should be a good match. What do you mean, Kakashi-sensei? Sakura asked. Judging from that fan on her back, Temari is a futon user, Kakashi said. Suna has quite a few futon users in their village, many more than Konoha does. And the Hyuga clan is renowned for their close combat skills. Niji and Temari stood across from one another on the arena floor, waiting for Hate to begin the match. You should forfeit, you have been fated to lose this match, Niji sneered. We'll see, little man, Temari scoffed back. You Konoha shinobi are all talk from what I've seen. So you should just give up. I know all about the Hyuga clan and their taijutsu style. But that means you'll have to get close to me to use it. Too bad for you, you won't get anywhere near me. Begin! Hate cried. Niji surged forward, aiming to end the fight quickly. Temari had other ideas as she pulled the large metal fan from her back. When you see the 3 moons, this battle will be over, she said, leaping back to avoid Niji. She whipped her fan in front of her and sent a large gust of wind speeding toward Niji. The Hyuga's eyes widened as he took in the attack's range. The wide range of the attack didn't allow Niji any space to avoid the attack. Hakusho Kaiten! Niji shouted, as a sphere of blue chakra surrounded his spinning form. All of the Leaf Ninja watched in stunned amazement at the jutsu used by the branch member of the Hyuga clan. The Kaiten was reserved for only members of the main branch of the Hyuga clan. Amazing, Guy gasped as he watched his student. Temari quickly recovered her composure at seeing her jutsu being deflected and cast another futon jutsu at the Hyuga member. But once more, Niji used the Kaiten to deflect the jutsu. How are you doing this? Temari cried. Niji came to a stop, facing Temari, his Byakugan activated. It is fate, Niji said stoically. This match ends now. The Hyuga boy surged forward faster than Temari could react. Hack Sanjuni Sho. 8 trigrams 16 palms. With glowing fingertips, Niji struck at Temari, quickly closing off several chakra points in her arms and legs. The blonde Suna ninja dropped to the floor with a scream as she lost control of her limbs. Winner Niji Hyuga, Hate announced. Niji nodded and walked back to his team. The board spun once more and then beeped, revealing 2 new names. Sasuke Uchiha vs. Sakuabumi. Good luck, Sasuke-kun, Sakura said as Sasuke made his way past his team and down to the arena floor. Yes, Sasuke, you better not lose to that bastard, Naruto chimed in. Sasuke just gave a grunt as he passed. Alright, I get to face the Uchiha, Zaku crowed. There's no way I'll lose. You must be pretty confident to think you even have a chance in beating me, that or you are dumber than Naruto, Sasuke scoffed. Naruto cried from the platform. Why, you arrogant bastard? I'm going to kick your ass, and I'll show you the strength of Odo, Zaku shouted. Begin! Hate shouted, leaping out of the way as Zaku started off the match with a bang. Zankaha! Zaku shouted, thrusting his arms towards Sasuke, whose Sharingan were spinning rapidly. The Uchiha air vanished in a burst of speed as two wind bursts shot through the air where Sasuke had just vacated. Where'd you go? Zaku cried as he looked wildly for Sasuke. Behind you, Sasuke whispered. Zaku whirled around, his arms ready to fire off another Zankaha, but Sasuke wasn't there. Man, you are slow, Sasuke's voice taunted from all around the arena. Katan, Hozenka no Jutsu. Zaku whirled around to see several small fireballs speeding toward him. Zankaha! The boy shouted. The futon attack was more powerful than the smaller Katan attack, however Sasuke had hidden shuriken in the fireballs and they hadn't been slowed by the futon attack. Arg! Zaku shouted in pain as the hidden shuriken sliced through his arms and legs, causing the boy to drop to his knees. Do you really think that a one-trick pony like yourself would be able to beat me? Sasuke sneered as he appeared before the down Oto ninja. Give it up, a nameless shinobi like you doesn't hold a handle to an Uchiha. Shut up. I will beat you. I'll show you my power. Zaku screamed. Zankakyakua. A massive burst of wind shot from Zaku's hands, much larger than the previous ones. Ha ha. I got you, you bastard. Zaku laughed as he surveyed an empty arena. Where's your words now? I was so strong that nothing is left of the last so-called Uchiha. What was that? Sasuke asked. Zaku's eyes widened for a split second before he was spitting blood as his head was rocked backward by a kick to the chin that sent him flying into the air. Sasuke appeared above the Oto ninja and sent the boy crashing to the arena floor with a devastating spinning axe kick to the chest. Zaku only had time to cry out weakly before he fell unconscious. Winner Sasuke Uchiha, Hate announced. Sasuke didn't look back as he walked back up to his teammates. You did it, Sasuke-kun. Sakura cried as she tried to embrace Sasuke, but the dark-haired boy smoothly moved out of the way. Nicely done, Sasuke, Naruto said, nodding to Sasuke. Sasuke nodded back to his blonde teammate and leaned against the wall. The medical staff quickly appeared and took Zaku away before the board started moving again. It beeped, drawing the attention of the room. A feral grin appeared on a certain blonde ninja's face. Naruto Uzumaki vs. Tenten. Naruto leapt over the railing, landing lightly as his opponent landed opposite of him. It's been a long time at Tenten? Naruto commented. That's right, Naruto, so you finally managed to graduate, good, Tenten answered, grinning at her former classmate from the academy. Of course I did, you know that I'm a great ninja. Naruto retorted, though from the tone of his voice, the crowd could tell that he wasn't angry. And that's why it took you 3 times to pass? Tenten shot back with a grin. Naruto's head dropped. You're mean, Tenten, Naruto said with a pout. Both opponents looked at one another for a brief moment before breaking out into laughter. Are you two ready? Hade asked, rolling his eyes at the pair. Naruto and Tenten only nodded in lieu of answering verbally. Right then, begin. Tenten quickly drew several kunai and flung them at Naruto. The blonde drew his own pair of kunai and deflected them, then sprang forward. Tenten leapt away from Naruto and pulled some shuriken from her holster. She threw the shuriken and flashed through several hand signs. Shuriken Kage Bunshin. The 3 shuriken multiplied into 30. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Naruto shouted. A large puff of smoke engulfed the arena and roughly 30 clones raced out of the smoke. The kunai peppered the clones, dispelling them, but they did their jobs. The original Naruto surged out of the cloud, 2 kunai drawn, and their blades looked different than normal kunai. It was as if they had been extended. That's futon manipulation. Asuma choked. Naruto has a futon affinity? He asked Kakashi. The silver-haired Jonin nodded. He's only just started, but Naruto has come a long way, with his special training method, Kakashi answered. He's managed to learn 1 futon jutsu and can use chakra nagashi. Really? Asuma asked, looking very impressed. He has come a long way, the Sarutobi shinobi agreed, looking down at the blonde. Come on, Tenten, that can't be all that you've learned under Guy, Naruto taunted. Show me what you've got. Tenten growled as she reached back and drew 2 scrolls from her pouch. You asked for it, Naruto, she snapped. With a practiced flick of her wrist, the scrolls unfurled and Tenten shouted, Sashoryu. The 2 scrolls began spinning around Tenten, rapidly spitting out various weaponry. Kyuso, I had to go and make her mad, Naruto grumbled as he leapt backward to avoid the rain of weapons. Flashing through some hand signs, he called out, Futon, de Tapa. The wind bullet spat from Naruto's mouth and knocked a lane clear through the weapons. Naruto dashed forward, knowing that if he gave Tenten time to react, she would use him as target practice. Kaga Bunshin. 4 clones popped into existence and circled Tenten. The bun-haired girl quickly dispatched the clones with pinpoint kunai to the head. Not bad, Tenten, but you forgot about me, Naruto cried as he descended from the ceiling. Tenten looked up in shock and tried to ready a weapon but was too slow. Naruto knocked aside Tenten's kunai and landed on top of her, his kunai poised at her throat. It's over, Tenten, Naruto said. Winner Naruto Uzumaki, hate called. Naruto withdrew the kunai and then stuck out his hand for Tenten. The girl grumbled but took the offered hand and let Naruto pull her to her feet. Not bad, Tenten, but I still think you need to branch out more, Naruto suggested. You might be amazing at using weapons, but if someone gets too close. I know, but you were too quick, Tenten admitted. Guy-sensei has been pushing for me to get more focused on my taijutsu, but I would always just brush it off. Well, now you know, Naruto said. Tenten nodded. Good match, Naruto. You too, Tenten. Naruto, how do you know that, Tenten girl? Sakura asked when Naruto had rejoined his team. We were classmates in the academy, and she was one of the few who didn't just blow me off, Naruto said. She's an orphan like me, so we kind of bonded over that. I also think she just liked the fact that I was the only one willing to be target practice during the academy, he added, rubbing the back of his head and chuckling. Ino Yamanaka vs. Kankuro. Alright, it's my turn, Ino cried. Watch me, Sasuke-kun, she called to her crush. Sasuke just grunted and turned away. Great, I got a fangirl, Kankuro muttered. This is going to be over quick. What did you say? Ino shouted, her hair whipping around as she spun around in anger. Just get down here so I can end this fight in one shot, Kankuro called from the arena floor, waiting for Ino to arrive. TCH, Ino snorted as she walked slowly down the stairs and walked over to face Kankuro. Are you two ready to begin? Hade asked. When he got 2 nods in answer, he started the fight. Ino whipped out several kunai and threw them at Kankuro, who easily dodged the blades. Is that it? The Suna ninja taunted. Man, I knew that you looked weak, but come on, this is pathetic. Arg! Ino cried as she rushed at Kankuro with a kunai drawn. The Suna ninja just grinned wickedly as he knocked aside Ino's kunai and slapped her back. Ino stumbled from the strike but quickly recovered. Shintenshin no Jutsu! Ino shouted, her hands coming forward to form a unique hand sign. It's over, Shikamura muttered. You got that right, that blondie is done for, Temari's voice carried across the arena. You would think that a Yamanaka would know about the risks of using that jutsu. Kankuro shot forward, drawing a kunai and placing at Ino's throat. Winner Kankuro, Hate announced quickly. Wow, that was kind of pathetic, said Naruto. I thought that Ino would have gotten a lot stronger since the academy. I mean, she's a clan heiress, so shouldn't she know what this life is like? The blonde Kunoichi shook her head, as she seemed to come back to herself. What happened? She asked. You lost, Hade said blankly. What? How could I have lost? Ino cried. You missed with your jutsu and I took advantage, Kankuro answered Ino's question. Damn, you are weak. I didn't even have to use a jutsu to beat you, he laughed as he made his way back up to his team. Temari was sneering down at the Yamanaka heir, who was looking like she was about to cry. Asuma leapt down to his student's side. Come on, Ino, we need to leave the floor so they can continue the matches, the bearded man said softly. Ino barely managed to nod her head. Asuma placed a hand on Ino's shoulder, and the pair vanished in a swirl of leaves only to reappear on the platform. Sakura made her way over toward her former friend, but a hand on her shoulder stopped her. What? She snapped at Naruto. You're up, Naruto answered, pointing at the board. Sakura Haruno vs. Dose Kinuta. Good luck, Sakura-chan, Naruto said. But be wary, he uses some sort of sound attack. When those guys jumped us before the first exam, his punch missed, but it still felt like I got my bell rung. Sakura nodded and turned towards Sasuke, a hopeful expression on her face, which faltered slightly when Sasuke only gave her a sharp nod. Sakura made her way down to the arena floor where her opponent was already waiting. Took you long enough, girl, Dosa sneered. Let's just get this over with. I might not have gotten to fight the Uchiha, but at least I can get some measure of revenge on his teammate. Naruto and Sasuke's eyes narrowed at Dosa's threat, while Sakura had to keep herself from trembling. I don't care if you wanted to fight Sasuke-kun, Sakura managed to say without stuttering. I'm your opponent and you won't beat me that easily. We'll see, Dosu responded, the bandages around his mouth twisting into what was most certainly a wicked grin. Are both fighters ready? Hade asked. Dosu and Sakura nodded, either taking their eyes off of the other. Then begin. Sakura leapt backward and drew several shuriken, tossing them at Dosu. The bandaged Oto ninja just raised his metal-encased arm and blocked the shuriken. Pathetic, he sneered. It seems that only that Tenen girl is a true kunoichi. You and that Yamanaka only cared about your appearance, never giving a thought to training. You are weak. Sakura cringed but drew a pair of kunai. She quickly launched one at Dosu, who merely blocked it once more. Surely you can do more than that, Dosu challenged. At least make me work for something. Suddenly a hissing noise drew his attention from Sakura. He looked down at the deflected kunai and saw an explosive tag wrapped around the handle. Kyuso, Dosu cursed as he leapt away just in time. The explosion shook the arena. Take this, Sakura cried as she came bursting through the smoke, kunai poised to strike. Dosu's visible eye narrowed. Not bad, using that explosive tag as a diversion, but you'll need more than cheap tricks to beat me, he shouted. Sakura slashed the kunai at Dosu, but she found it blocked by Dosu's gauntlet. You're done for now. You know what makes this arm so special, anytime I do this, he flicked the metal. Sakura screamed as she felt something drill into the side of her head. She dropped the kunai and fell to her knees, clutching her head. The inner ear is one of the most delicate parts of the human body, Dosu sneered, standing over Sakura. He flicked the metal gauntlet again, causing Sakura to scream once more. Blood was beginning to leak from under her hands. The slightest directed sound can cause anyone to lose their balance. It can't be protected against, and it is truly excruciating, isn't it? Sakura screamed herself hoarse as another stabbing pain filled her head. It felt like someone was drilling something into her ear. Her vision was beginning to waver as another wave of pain crashed over her. Stop the fight! Naruto cried out. Can't you see he's just torturing Sakura-chan? He's won, it's over! Dosu looked up at Naruto, whose eyes were beginning to shift between blue and red, and smiled evilly. So you like this pathetic little worm, Dosu sneered. Well, let's see how much you like her when she can't hear you. Kayamaizen! Those with the dojutsu saw a drill made of chakra and sound waves emanate from Dosu's right arm and drill itself into Sakura's ear. Sakura only had enough time to cry out weakly before she collapsed to the floor, blood beginning to pour from her ears and nose. I'll kill you! Naruto roared as he and Sasuke leapt over the railing. Enough! The Hokage's stern voice boomed out and echoed around the arena. Naruto, Sasuke, you will return to your spots or you will be disqualified. But old man. Now Naruto! Hiruzen's voice was heavy with command. This was his Kage voice as Naruto put it. The blonde looked like he wanted to forget the order and tear Dosu to shreds, but the firm hand of Kakashi kept him under control. Winner Dosu Kinyuta, Hate, finally announced. Dosu scoffed and turned back toward his team. He had reached the stairs when he felt a shiver travel up his spine. Dosu looked over his shoulder to see Naruto kneeling next to Sakura while the medical team came rushing out. Naruto gently brushed aside some hair that had covered Sakura's face, and then dipped his fingers in her spilled blood. I swear on my name and this blood that if we meet in the finals, Dosu, Naruto growled. There won't be enough of you to fit in a matchbox. You better start praying to Kami because next time we meet, your soul is mine. Dosu tried to sneer back at the blonde boy, but a vision came to him. Behind Naruto, the hazy figure of a massive fox appeared and opened its maw, teeth gleaming. Its eyes were burning like the very pits of hell itself. Dosu couldn't contain the shiver of fear that raced across his nerves. TCH, whatever brat, Dosu scoffed as he walked up the stairs, trying not to feel the bead of sweat trickling down his neck. Come along, Naruto-kun, Sasuke-kun, Kakashi said as the medical crew took Sakura away. The final match is about to begin. Both boys looked up at the board and saw the names of the final two competitors. Gaara vs. Misumi. Kabuto's final teammates start off at the red-haired Suna ninja with a smug grin. Let's get this over with, squirt, Misumi sneered. Gaara just stared back impassively as he waited for Hate to begin the match. Begin! Misumi surged forward, intent on ending the match as quickly as possible. And that's just what Gaara did. A pillar of sand shot from the gourd on Gaara's back and quickly encased Misumi. Sabaka Soso! Gaara uttered, clenching his fist. Misumi only had time to scream weakly before the sand compacted tightly, crushing him. Blood leaked from the floating sand and dripped to the floor. Shikamaru, Tenten, Choji, Ino and several others all turned away to keep themselves from being sick at the sight. Naruto felt bile well up in his throat but forced it down as he stared down at the Suna ninja who was watching the blood leak from its prison with a calm smile. Now that the preliminaries have been concluded, Hiruzen said once the arena floor had been cleaned and the victors stood before him. I can say this, for those of you who have passed, congratulations. But your journey does not end here. The finals of the Chunin selection exams will be held in 1 month's time in a one-on-one battle-style tournament. We have 10 finalists, and such will have 5 first-round matches. You will not be informed of your opponent until the day of the finals, for as ninja you will not always have the luxury of knowing your opponent beforehand, and the mark of a good ninja is how they perform under pressure. If you will follow your senseis, they will escort you out of the forest. Good luck and train hard. It had been a month since the end of the second exam of the Chunin selection exams, and the village on Konoha was abuzz with barely concealed excitement. While no one knew the matchups for the finals, the fact that several clan heirs from Konoha, including Sasuke, had brought spectators from all over the elemental continent. Sakura, Hinata, Tenten, Ino and Choji were seated together in the arena waiting for the matches to be announced and to begin. Where is Sasuke-kun? Ino asked as the finalists walked out to the middle of the stadium floor. And where's Naruto? Sakura asked. Sasuke-kun was taken away by Kakashi-sensei, and knowing sensei, Sasuke will most likely show up just before he needs to. Naruto, though, I would have expected him to be the first one here. Naruto-kun is down there, Hinata said. He is standing next to Lee-kun. Sakura and Ino took another look down at the competitors and saw that a hooded figure was standing next to Rock Lee, and judging from the arm motions that Lee was using, they surmised that Lee was describing some move to the boy. The hooded boy threw his head back, and the hood fell off, revealing the golden blonde hair of Naruto. What happened to Naruto? Sakura asked. I mean, a month ago he was the shortest person in the exams, now he's only like an inch shorter than Lee. Well, I guess he finally got a growth spurt, Tenten said. And with those new clothes, he actually looks like a ninja now. Though the arms and shin bracers are a new touch. The 3 female classmates of Naruto also noted the gray arm and shin bracers that Naruto was wearing. Sakura also noticed that the bottom half of Naruto's face was obscured by a black mask much like Kakashi-sensei. What is Naruto doing, dressing up like that? It almost looks like he's getting ready to fight a war, Ino said. Is he trying to copy Sasuke-kun or something? No, that's not it, Sakura answered. I asked the same thing to Naruto before the first exam. He wanted to make a change, said that our mission to the wave opened his eyes and made him realize that this life, you can't act like it's a game. If someone did, they would be killed really early. Kid has got that right, an amused voice agreed from behind the young genin. Turning around, the group saw that it was Asuma. Asuma-sensei, Ino cried. Naruto has had a rough childhood, he tried to hide it behind the facade of pranks, smiling all the time in that awful orange jumpsuit, Asuma said. But Naruto has matured greatly since that mission, at least from what Kakashi has said of the boy. He knows that this life is not a game, a single mistake can mean life or death for you or your comrades. Oh come on sensei, sure Naruto has got some new clothes and he seems to have gotten stronger since the academy, Ino said, tossing her hair over her shoulder. But in the end he's still the idiot that we all know from the academy. You're wrong Ino, Sakura said, a feeling of anger growing in her stomach prompting her to defend her teammate. Naruto really has changed from the academy. He's become very strong, probably as strong as Sasuke-kun is. And he's shown me that I need to get a lot stronger, if I don't want to get left behind by those two. Ino looked like she wanted to continue the argument, but the voice of her sensei cut her off. I think that's enough of that, the finals are about to begin, Asuma said. The group turned away from the bearded jonin and back to the stadium floor where a bandana-wearing jonin was stepping forward to address the crowd. Welcome one and all to the finals of the Chunin selection exams, Genma called out. Now the finalists will battle against each other to impress you all, and in hopes of being promoted to the rank of Chunin. Our first match will be between Shikamaru Nara of Konoha and Kankuro no Sabaku of Suna. Will those 2 participants remain behind while all others clear out? Good luck Shikamaru, Naruto said as he made his way past the Nara heir. Shikamaru just nodded, keeping his eyes fixed on the Suna ninja. Suddenly Naruto's head whipped around as 2 figures appeared in a swirl of leaves. It was Kakashi and Sasuke. We're not late, are we? Kakashi asked. No you're not, Genma said, rolling his eyes in exasperation at the nearly perpetually late jonin. But clear out now, we're about to start the first match. Kakashi nodded to his fellow jonin before turning to his 2 students. Good luck Sasuke, Naruto I know that you will both do well, the silver-haired man said. Thanks sensei, Naruto and Sasuke responded. I'm surprised that you made it here on time, or at least mostly, Naruto joked as he, Sasuke, and the other finalists made their way up to the viewing box. Kakashi wanted to make our entrance a little more extravagant, but I told him that if he didn't get us there in time, I'd burn all his books, Sasuke answered with a wry grin, something that seemed out of place on the normally stoic boy's face. Naruto rolled his eyes, but his lips twitched at the threat that his teammate had leveled against their sensei. Are you two ready? Genma asked Shikamaru and Kankuro once the field was cleared. Both genin nodded. Then begin, Genma shouted as he leapt backward. Neither fighter moved for the first several minutes after Genma announced the start of the match. They were just waiting each other out. Slowly the crowd became more and more restless as neither Kankuro nor Shikamaru made a move toward one another. Well, come on then, you leaf brat, aren't you going to attack? Kankuro snapped. Why should I? Shikamaru answered, his hands deep in his pockets. I don't even want to be here, but my mother would have a fit if I didn't show up, and it's too troublesome to have to deal with that. And besides, why should I make the first move? Kankuro sneered at Shikamaru. Fine then, but only because I know that I can beat you senseless without even trying, the Suna ninja growled. Reaching up, Kankuro grabbed the large bandage thing on his back. Swinging it off his back, Kankuro flicked his wrist and the bandages quickly unfurled, revealing a rickety-looking doll with several arms and a head that looked much like a horse. Shikamaru's eyes narrowed at the puppet that his opponent now wielded. Judging from the extra arms and the slots in those arms, this puppet must have several hidden blades, Shikamaru theorized. And from what I remember, Suna puppeteers are notorious for using poisons on their blades. I can't let myself be even touched or it will be over. This just got a whole lot more troublesome. We're both range fighters. So this fight will come down to which one of us makes a mistake, or which one can get close enough to end it. With a twitch of Kankuro's finger, the puppet shot forward at Shikamaru. The Nara air palmed a pair of smoke bombs and threw them at the ground. Smoke instantly engulfed much of the arena. When it finally cleared, both Kankuro and Shikamaru were gone. Only the puppet standing in the middle of the arena was visible. Where are you, you leaf bastard? Kankuro thought from his hiding spot. I need to end this quickly before I show too many of Crow's features. Across the arena floor, the second combatant was also analyzing the situation. Looks like he has no idea where I am, Shikamaru thought as he observed the arena from his own spot. I'm not the most stealthy of people, and this guy has got to know his own weaknesses. My best shot is luring him out of his hiding spot, but to do that I've got to make him think he's won so he'll reveal himself. And the only way to do that troublesome. Kankuro's eyes scanned the arena, searching for any sign of his opponent, but he came up empty. Damn it, where are you? I know that you are watching for me. I guess I'll have to flush the bastard out. With a twitch of his fingers, Kankuro had Crow's chest flash open and a brace of kunai shot out of the puppet. The puppet sent volley after volley of kunai into the various thickets of woods that dotted the arena perimeter. Come on, you bastard, where the hell are you? He growled. I know that you are out there somewhere. The rustling of leaves jerked Kankuro's head around to his right, Crow following suit. Kankuro saw movement in the thicket of trees opposite him. There you are, he cried and sent Crow surging forward with a twitch of his finger. Kyuso! Shikamaru cursed as he leapt from his hiding spot. Kankuro's puppet came crashing after him. He dove into a forward roll to avoid the slash of Crow's arm. Shikamaru could see the poison dripping from the wooden puppet's blades, and swallowed nervously. Kagame no Jutsu! Shikamaru cried. His shadow shot out and toward Crow. The puppet leapt back and quickly tried to circle around Shikamaru, but the boy's shadow raced after the puppet. Shikamaru could feel his chakra reserve quickly depleting as he kept his jutsu active and shadow moving around his body like a shield. He knew that if he didn't catch the puppet soon, he'd run out of chakra and that would be it. Reaching into his pouch, Shikamaru grabbed a flash bomb and tossed it into the air. He quickly covered his eyes as the flash bomb ignited, covering the arena in a blinding light. Shikamaru used the extended and strengthened shadow to extend his shadow to cover nearly the entire arena floor. Kyuso! Shikamaru panted as he fell to his knees with sweat dripping from his brow. I missed. Yeah, you did, you weak-ass punk, Kankuro laughed as he stepped out of the woods, Crow at the boy's side. Clever idea, using that flash bomb to expand the range of your shadow without wasting chakra, but it still wasn't enough. I know that you don't have enough chakra to try that trick again. You might as well give up, you have no chance of winning now. Shikamaru groaned as he struggled to his feet, sweat still pouring down his face. His eyes were fixed on the puppet at Kankuro's side, its arms spread wide as if ready to embrace Shikamaru in a motherly hug. But the Nara heir knew that embrace hid a deadly secret. Kankuro raised his hand, Crow shifting into position. Last chance to give up, brat, the boy sneered. Shikamaru only glared back at the puppet user. Fine then, say goodbye. Crow shot forward, a blade shooting from its palm. Shikamaru raised a hand as if to block the blade, which only increased Kankuro's gleeful smile. What? Kankuro cried as the puppet froze, its poison-tipped blade only inches from Shikamaru's eye. Did you really think that you had won that easily? Shikamaru asked with a tired grin. What did you do? Kankuro shouted, his fingers moving madly, but his puppet refused to obey his commands. That flash bomb didn't fail, Shikamaru explained. Look! Kankuro looked down and saw the thin shadow connecting the Konoha shinobi to his puppet. How? That wasn't there a minute ago, he shouted. It's troublesome to explain, but it is child's play for me to control the width of my shadow, to make it as thick or as thin as I want it to be, Shikamaru explained with the air of explaining something simple to a child. Now I have complete control of your puppet, and there's nothing you can do. I don't think so. All I have to do is wait for your jutsu to lose strength, and then I'll strip you down to your bones and find out what makes you tick. I guess then I have no choice, Shikamaru sighed. It's troublesome, but I'll just have to beat you before my chakra runs out. Kankuro laughed heartily. You think you have a chance of beating me, he scoffed. Please, brat, you have no chance of even touching me. Even without Crow, I'm still leagues stronger than you. We'll see, Shikamaru grunted as he sent his shadow after Kankuro. The Suna ninja just laughed and leapt away from Shikamaru. The shadow raced across the ground after Kankuro, who just kept leaping backward. The shadow seemed to get slower and slower with each passing second. You're done, leaf brat, Kankuro scoffed. You don't think that I don't see that your shadow is getting slower and slower. At this rate, you won't even be able to keep control of Crow and attack me. You are going to have to make a choice. Shikamaru frowned. Kankuro was right. He only had barely a minute before he would run out of chakra and lose his hold on the puppet. Well then, if I can't win, then I'm going to make sure that neither can you. What are you talking about? Kankuro asked. Shikamaru pulled a kunai from his pouch as well as an explosive tag. Hey, what are you doing with that? Kankuro cried as Shikamaru wrapped the tag around the handle of the kunai. Just what you think I'm going to do, Shikamaru shrugged as he flung the kunai at Crow. No! Kankuro shouted. The Suna ninja flung his hand out and shot a string of chakra from his fingertip. The kunai froze in midair as the chakra string attached itself to the handle. Please, brat, catching a kunai with a string of chakra is child's play for a Suna puppeteer. I figured that, Shikamaru commented. Kage main no jutsu success. What? Kankuro shouted as he realized that his body wouldn't respond to his commands. When your attention was solely focused on my kunai, Shikamaru shrugged. Now either you can give up or I blow you halfway back to Suna. How? That exploding tag on the kunai isn't close enough to me. Most I'll get is a ringing head and you can't hold your jutsu for much longer. So go ahead. That's not the tag I'm talking about, Shikamaru sighed. I'm talking about that one. Shikamaru was pointing at the kunai that was lying on the ground barely 10 feet from Kankuro. All it would take is for me to ignite the tag and you will never see another sunrise. Give up or else. Kankuro's eyes switched back and forth between Shikamaru and the kunai, judging the Nara heir's resolve and searched for any hesitation in Shikamaru's eyes. There was none. I forfeit, Kankuro growled. Instantly, the dark thread of shadow connecting Kankuro and Shikamaru dissolved and the dark-haired Konoha genin dropped to his butt in exhaustion. Winner Shikamaru Nara of Konoha, Ginma announced to wild cheers from the crowd. Man, that was close, Shikamaru sighed as he flopped onto his back. You know, if you had held on for about 5 more seconds, you would have won. What? Kankuro screamed. That kunai at your feet was a bluff, Shikamaru said. The explosive one was the one you caught, and you were right that it wouldn't have hurt you all too much. Oh well. Kankuro looked furious and was about to launch himself at the lazy Konoha shinobi when the proctor cut in. You two need to leave so we can start the next match, Ginma said. Move it, Shikamaru. Troublesome, Shikamaru grumbled as he slouched to his feet and shuffled off to the stairs. Kankuro retrieved Crow and followed the Nara back up to the viewing room, his eyes burning holes in Shikamaru's back the whole time. Look like you are up, Sasuke, Naruto said, clapping Sasuke on the back. Good luck. The Uchiha boy only nodded as he leapt down from the viewing room to wild cheers coming from the Konoha dominate crowd. Kiba and Akamaru landed nearby. Still as popular as ever as Sasuke, Kiba barked. But after this fight, the whole village is going to see that you are nothing more than a fraud, and they'll see that I'm the strongest. We'll see, Mutt, Sasuke growled as he and Kiba took their places across from one another. And now the second match of the first round of the Chunin selection exam between Sasuke Uchiha and Kiba Inazaka, both of Konoha, will now begin, Genma announced. Are both fighters ready? Sasuke and Kiba nodded, not taking their eyes off the other. Right then, have at it. In a flash, Genma leapt backward as a large fireball sped toward Kiba. The feral boy dove sideways to avoid the Katon Jutsu and drew a kunai in time to deflect Sasuke's own kunai. Not bad, Kiba. Seems that you have improved enough to block my first attack, Sasuke commented. But you are still not strong enough to challenge me. Shut your arrogant mouth, Uchiha, Kiba snarled. I don't care how strong you think you are, I will not lose. Akamaru. Sasuke ducked blindly as he heard Kiba's nean-dog companion bark from behind him. The white puppy barreled over Sasuke's head. The Uchiha leapt back from the now reunited pair. Sasuke knew that the pair was much stronger when together, and his plan had been to separate the duo with that Katon Jutsu and then end it quickly. But he had underestimated Kiba and Akamaru's growth and strength from the academy. Katon, Hozenka no Jutsu. Sasuke blew a brace of small arching fireballs at Kiba and Akamaru. But the pair leapt over the jutsu easily. Kiba palmed several shuriken and flung them at Sasuke. The Uchiha heir countered with his own shuriken. As the throwing stars fell to the ground, Sasuke drew a pair of kunai and charged the partners. Kiba drew his own kunai and returned the charge. The two boys met in the middle of the arena with a clash. In the stands, the crowd was going nuts as they watched two clan heirs of Konoha battle each other. Akamaru raced around from behind Kiba and leapt at Sasuke, his jaws wide. Sasuke quickly leapt away from the puppy. He probably could have kicked the dog aside easily but didn't want to hurt the puppy. Sasuke wanted to fight Kiba at his full strength. He wanted to see how much his comrade and himself had progressed since graduating. Come on, Kiba, enough holding back, Sasuke chided. Show me your strength. Fine, Kiba growled. Now Akamaru. Jijin Bunshin. In an explosion of white smoke, Akamaru vanished and was replaced by another Kiba. Shikyaku no Jutsu. Kiba snarled. Chakra engulfed the pair as their fingernails grew into claws, their eyes and faces grew even more feral and their canines grew longer into fangs. Sasuke's eyes bled red as he activated his Sharingan in preparation for Kiba's attack. And the Uchiha heir didn't have to wait long. Gutsuga! Kiba roared as he and the transformed Akamaru raced toward him. They quickly spun and formed two twin tornadoes of destruction. Sasuke dashed forward, trusting his Sharingan to give him an advantage to avoid the attack. Gah! Sasuke growled as he gripped his shoulder. Blood was leaking slightly through his fingers from the claw wounds that Kiba or Akamaru had scored on him. First blood goes to me, as Sasuke, Kiba chuckled as he and Akamaru landed behind Sasuke. Lucky shot, Kiba, Sasuke admitted. But that won't happen again. He drew 5 shuriken and flung them at Kiba. Shuriken Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. The 5 shuriken quickly became a swarm of 25. The Inazaka heir and his partner quickly spilt apart, allowing the rain of deadly metal to speed between the duo. Katon, Gakakyu no Jutsu! Sasuke shouted. A large fireball spat from Sasuke's mouth and sped across the arena toward the figure who Sasuke thought was Akamaru. The Kiba that Sasuke attacked dodged the Katon Jutsu easily by leaping above the fireball. However, this was a mistake as Sasuke raced forward in the fireball's shadow. The black-haired boy had 2 kunai in his hands as he leapt at Kiba. Kiba snarled as he swiped at Sasuke, who easily blocked the claw strikes with his kunai. Gutsuga! Sasuke heard Kiba shout from behind him. Sasuke paused for a second as he readied himself to execute his newest move. The raven-haired boy felt the tug of the technique and looked up to see the gray drill that was Kiba slam into the log that Sasuke had switched himself with. Katon, Fenikusa Heki! Sasuke cried. Several small birds of fire flew from Sasuke's mouth and soared toward Kiba and Akamaru. Kiba and Akamaru spun around in time only for the Katon Jutsu to slam around them. Sasuke dimly heard Kiba and Akamaru howl in pain over the roar of the crowd. With his Sharingan, Sasuke saw 2 shapes burst from the smoke. It was Kiba and Akamaru, who had reverted back to his normal puppy form. Not bad, Kiba admitted. I didn't think you could perform the Kawarimi Jutsu without any hand signs. You surprised us with that, but you should have made sure that you finished us off with that last attack because you won't get another shot. We'll see, Kiba, Sasuke said as he readied himself. You still haven't beaten me. Kiba growled. Let's go, Akamaru! The feral boy shouted. The white puppy barked and followed his partner. Sasuke watched with narrowed eyes as his opponents charged him. He saw Kiba palm 2 smoke bombs and throw them at his feet. This trick, Sasuke scoffed as he channeled chakra to his ears. Do you really think that just taking away my eyes will be enough? My team and I battle the master of the silent kill. You have a long way to come before you can scare me with this cheap trick. Yeah, right, Sasuke heard Kiba retort from somewhere in the smoke. Too late, Sasuke, I've got you. Kiba appeared behind Sasuke, claws gleaming. He slashed as the Uchiha heir turned around. Kiba's feral grin faded as the Sasuke before him faded out of existence. Bunshin! He snarled. Correct, Sasuke whispered from behind Kiba. The Inazaka boy froze as he felt the cold sting of a kunai at his throat. Give up, and I won't slit your throat, Kiba. And don't think I know where Akamaru is. Call him off before I have to hurt you. Kiba growled deeply but nodded. Akamaru, stand down, it's over, he snarled. I give Sasuke. Winner Sasuke Uchiha, Genma announced. The crowd went wild as Sasuke lowered his kunai. Damn it, Kiba growled as he walked off toward the stairs. I thought we had you. You've come a long way, Kiba, Sasuke said. You are a lot stronger since the academy, but you've got to spread out your strengths, don't just focus on your clan's techniques. Kiba nodded sharply, acknowledging the advice. Would Shino Aburame and Niji Hyuga please make their way down to the arena? Genma called out. The two genin made their way down to the arena floor, both taking a sedate pace that built the anticipation that was flowing off the crowd. Are you two ready to begin? Genma asked Shino and Niji. Both boys responded with just a nod each. Right then, the match between Niji Hyuga and Shino Aburame will now begin. The Jonin leapt backward to give the combatants room to do battle. Perhaps you should give up, Niji sneered, activating his Byakugan. You have no chance of beating me. I am the strongest genin in this tournament. You, Aburame, might be strong since you and that mud have had to carry the weakling Hinata through the first two exams, so I will not hold back, but you cannot win. I shall not hold back either, Niji, Shino answered. Why? Because you insulted my teammates, and that is something I will not stand for. Very well then, Niji said. But she does not deserve your respect and loyalty, she is weak and will always be weak. Shino only raised his arms. Twin black clouds came spilling from his sleeves. Niji shifted into the opening stance of the Jukin as Shino's allies began swarming around the sunglasses-wearing boy. Hijitsu, Kuchu Ishi. Secret Jutsu, Beetle Swarm, Shino uttered. A large cloud of Shino's bugs surged toward Niji, spreading out to surround Niji. Kaiten! Niji cried as he spun on his heel, creating a large dome of chakra. Shino's bugs fell to the ground as they were shredded by Niji's chakra. You cannot defeat me, Niji stated. You should just give up, you'll never get close enough to drain my chakra. Perhaps, Shino said. But I still have the advantage. You must constantly defend against my attacks, for if one of my attacks land, my allies will drain you of your chakra and you will lose. Well then, I will have to defeat you before that happens, Niji retorted with supreme confidence. He dashed forward, sending out several small bursts of chakra to keep Niji's bugs from attaching themselves to his body. Behind Shino's sunglasses, the boy's eyes widened at the impressive display of tactics and chakra control. Impressive idea, Niji, Shino commented as he leapt backward to gain space from the hard-charging Niji. But how long can you keep this strategy up? As long as I must, Niji answered. But Niji knew that he couldn't keep his strategy going for very long. The constant flaring of his chakra was rapidly draining his reserves. He had to finish this fight now. Dashing forward quicker than before, Niji sent Shino reeling with several Jukin strikes to the boy's arms and legs, causing Shino to fall to his knees. This battle is over. You are correct, it is, a voice said from behind Niji. The Shino that was kneeling before Niji dissolved into a swarming black mass. What? No! Niji cried as he was covered in Shino's chakra-draining bugs. Shino stepped from the shadows of a nearby tree and with a tiny gesture, recalled the bugs from a collapsed and drained Niji. Proctor, this match is over, Shino said. How? How did you defeat me? Niji asked. You were arrogant in your belief that you would win because of your name, and your belief in fate, Shino said. It has blinded you to the fact that fate has no bearing on this fight. Only your belief in yourself and your skills decided this fight. Winner Shino Aburame, Genma announced. The crowd was nearly silent as the participants of the final set match of the first round slowly walked out into the arena floor. The spectators didn't know what to think as the pariah of Konoha was to fight against the son of the Kazekage. Naruto watched silently as Gaara turned to face him, a bloodthirsty grin twisting the young boy's face. The blonde could feel the bloodlust and killing intent roiling off the redhead, and Naruto was sure that even the civilians that were in the stadium could feel it as well. Genma watched the two boys stare down one another, either giving an inch. The fourth match of the first round of the Chunin selection exams between Naruto Uzumaki of Konoha and Gaara no Sabaku of Suno will now commence. Are you two ready? Naruto nodded while Gaara remained still, only the uncorking of his gourd signaling his consent. Then the fight shall begin. Instantly, a large stream of sand shot out of Gaara's gourd and sped toward Naruto. With nary a thought, Naruto created a Kage Bunshin and Kawarimi'd himself with it. The sand slammed into the clone, dispelling it, and then sent itself after Naruto. All right then, Naruto said. Taja Kage Bunshin. The arena became engulfed in smoke for a brief moment, but when it cleared, the spectators were stunned to find themselves surrounded by a sea of blonde ninja. Let's see how absolute your defense is. Shuriken Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Each blonde drew 3 shuriken and threw them at Gaara. The hundreds of shuriken multiplied into close to 1,000. The rain of metal was so vast and thick that it blocked out the sun. Naruto, his clones, and the crowd watched as the deluge of deadly steel covered the entire arena in dark metal. In the middle of the arena, a sphere of sand that was littered with shuriken was all that remained of Gaara. So that didn't do it, Naruto commented. Just the shuriken were not strong enough, so let's pick this up a notch. Naruto plucked 2 kunai from his pouch and then nodded to a nearby clone. Naruto threw the 2 kunai at Gaara. The clone flashed through a few hand signs and cried out, Futon, de Tapa. The Futon Jutsu propelled the 2 kunai to speeds nearly invisible to the naked eye. Gaara's sand created a large hand out of the sand and raised itself to block the kunai. The Futon propelled kunai bit deeply into Gaara's sand but didn't pierce all the way through. Pathetic Uzumaki, Gaara growled. Show me your strength. Prove your existence to me so I can destroy you. The redhead raised a hand, the sand obeyed his will and shot up into air, swirling around in a large tornado. The sand and wind kicked up the scattered shuriken and flung them into the air, dispelling Naruto's clones by the dozens. 2 clones grabbed Naruto by the arms and threw him high above the stadium just before they were struck by several shuriken. Naruto looked down at the arena floor, where Gaara was looking up at him with a crazed expression. Let's see how you handle this, Naruto cried. Suetun, Teppadama Renda. Water release, water bullet barrage. He and his remaining clones spat large globes of water down at Gaara. Gaara's sand responded instantly, and covered him in a dome of sand. The water bullets slammed into the dome of sand with resounding crashes. Now let's see how fast that sand is now. Fuin Kai. A wave of chakra washed over the stadium as Naruto felt leagues lighter. Let's go, Naruto grinned, his glue eyes glowing with excitement. The crowd gasped as Naruto vanished in a blur of speed. Gaara's sand shot up to block Naruto's punch as the blonde reappeared beside him. The redhead tried to ensnare Naruto with a tendril of sand, but the blonde had vanished once more. How is Naruto so fast? Ino asked as she and the others watched in amazement. He's even faster than Sasuke-kun. Just how strong are you, Naruto? Sakura whispered as she struggled to keep up with the blonde's movements. To her and the other genin, it looked like there were yellow flashes dancing around Gaara. To the older ninja, they could see Naruto, though his image was slightly hazy. Incredible, Kurenai whispered. For Naruto to have improved so much in such a short amount of time. He's still holding back, Kakashi said with a light chuckle. What? Impossible. It's true, Naruto isn't showing his full abilities just yet, Kakashi said. He knows that everyone is watching him right now, so he doesn't want to show the village his full arsenal of tricks. Quite intriguing this Uzumaki boy is, Hiruzen? Orochimaru asked. From reports, he was the dead last of his class, failing the exam 3 times. Yes, but Naruto-kun is quite the trickster, Hiruzen laughed. He has come a long way since painting the Hokage monument in full view of the village. Naruto-kun is certainly living up to his moniker of the Leaf's most unpredictable ninja. I guess that absolute defense is living up to its name, Naruto said. I guess that I'm going to have to break out the big stuff. Naruto reached into his equipment pouch and pulled out an explosive tag. This is my personal type of explosive tag. It is a hell of a lot stronger than a normal tag. So let's see how your defense handles this. The blonde wrapped the tag around the handle of a kunai and flung the kunai at Gaara. Gaara didn't even blink as a fist of sand appeared and caught the kunai. The hand clenched into a fist around the kunai. Naruto grinned. Boom, he whispered. The stadium rocked as the tag erupted with immense force. Smoke filled the arena and blocked the view of the spectators. Naruto surged into the smoke. All the spectators could hear were the sounds of a fist hitting something. When the smoke finally cleared, the crowd was stunned to see Gaara slowly getting to his feet. If they looked closely, they would have seen the spider web of cracks that lined Gaara's face and clothing.